sleepy, nighty, snoozy snooze.
Hello? Hello. Everybody, happy Monday. Welcome to the start of another week. But it's a bank holiday, so it's not too bad. That's right, friends. We continue on with our ATC course, the FAA Conversion course. And tonight, friends, well, do you know, we're almost this is kind of it for the VFR side of the fence. I mean, if we can figure this much out, we're pretty much good to go. I mean, from here on in, it's going to be IFR stuff after tonight's lesson. So, tonight for the lesson, well, what do we have, lads, in store? Well, we have a VFR cross-country flight. And we're going to be doing this on VATSIM, meaning we're going to depart out of Nashua, where we've been kind of last week, or where we tried to get to last week. We're going to be flying up to a towered airport in Lebanon, in America, right? That's going to be under ATC. Then we are going to ramble down to Concord Municipal Airport, which is going to be untowered, meaning we have to revert back to the L, hello? CTAF. Then we continue back to Nashua, completing our cross-country flight. Now, what's pretty cool about this is, in the real world, for your PPL, your private pilot license, well, you have to complete a number of cross-country flights during your initial flight training. And what we're doing tonight is pretty much what you're going to do in the real world. We have the multitasking. We're going to be planning a flight. All sorts of plannage needs to go into how we're going to pull this one off. Then we need to fly the route. We need to stay on top of our ATC communications, expect the unexpected, and, well, you're right. Then we need to carry out some good pilotage. Right. And then, friends, we must navigate, aviate, communicate, aviate, procrastinate. It's all part of the plan. Yes, that's right, friends. Now, I can already see that we have the amazing folks at the Boston ARTCC, virtual ARTCC. They're online already. We have a Boston approach, which is awesome. And, well, for the first hour or so, we're just going to play catch-up on what we've done over the last couple of weeks. Airspace is the vast majority of what you got to figure out when it comes to flying in the US. I mean, the rest of the stuff is fairly straightforward. There's small differences between flying in Europe versus flying in the US, but airspace is the main one. Once you figure out the airspace, the rest of it is actually pretty much straightforward, would you believe? Now, VFR flying, well, there's a much bigger workload on the pilot, right? I mean, we got to stay out of trouble and know what to do when we fly into certain areas. If you're flying under, instrument flight rules, it's quite linear. You've a full kind of plan. You've waypoints in your flight plan, and you're watching for altitudes and everything else. But rule number one, as a VFR pilot, we see and we avoid. That's what it's all about. You see and you avoid. Right? Makes total sense. Now, in the real world, there's more of a focus on airspace and kind of VFR weather minimums because, well, in the real world, you're looking out for real aircraft that will potentially ruin your day if you get too close to them. When it comes to flight sim, well, we have a number of pretty handy tools to help us along the way. Like, we've ADSB, we can see traffic on our avionics. We've a whole load of stuff going on there that keeps us relatively safe. But that's not to say, we can just assume all is well. VATSIM, just like any other kind of online ATC provider, well, they take this stuff fairly seriously. The whole idea is, well, they're trying to make it as real as possible for your enjoyment and, of course, by following procedures. So tonight, as I said, across country, this is going to be brilliant, right? Don't know how it's going to get. It's going to be brilliant. But anyway, before we delve into it, so we started, or no, we didn't. We finished off yesterday. I did a flight in X-Plane yesterday after our stream, just to kind of give Adam a bit of company. And then, sure, when I jumped on, 20 other people were already jumping on, and sure, it got fairly busy, but it was good crack. We're flying helos in and around Dublin in X-Plane on VATSIM. Don't you know? Lots of fun, and highly recommended, especially around Dublin, because Adam goes nuts. But it was brilliant. But what did we do then after last night? We had our dinner. Yes, we had our Easter Sunday roast. It was absolutely gorgeous. Ham and potatoes and all the devil knows what. And we ended up, we watched more Yellowstone. And then this morning, friends, up bright and early on my day off, because it's a bank holiday, and straight into this stuff. Flight simming and all the stuff associated to it, because I love it. And it's been a busy day, productive day, you might say. Got the Gruig cut. It's all going well until it suddenly stops. Anyway, there's also other stuff we're doing tonight. We're going to have a look at this gadget here. Wait, he's opening a blue book. Wait, you see this? We're going to be checking out one of these tonight. the old famous E6B calculator, your flight computer, right? If you've never seen one of these before, well, we're going to have a look at one. And I'm going to give you one for free. A digital one. Well, I'm going to show you where you get it for free. Someone else has already made it for free. But the point is we get to use it because, well, right, this is how we calculate things in our little airplanes. And we'll probably delve a little bit deeper into some of the airspace rules and, you know, why they are airspaces. And why most of the airspaces in the United States, well, they were pretty much there since the 1950s. Prior to that, you had these common travel areas and there was different names for them, right? But anyway, in the 1950s, they turned around and they said, right, we need a plan here. So they made up different airspaces. We have Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta, Echo, and Golf. There is no Foxtrot. There's no F in space. There's no airspace classified as F or Foxtrot in the United States of America. So we have to kind of, you know, just remember things, right? So we'll delve into that once again. Now, anyone who is new to all of this, you know, if with the ATC stuff, you might be nervous about pushing the button to start talking. We've all been there, right? The first time I flew with an online ATC on a flight sim, it was on the Pilot Edge network, and they don't take prisoners. And I sat on the ground at San Marcos for like, or was it Oceana? It was Oceana. I sat there for a good 10 minutes. Sweating. It was like that scene out of Airplane, you know. Didn't know what to say or how to say it. But you'll eventually get there. And what makes all of this so much better, well, we have our friends over at Boston Virtual ARTCC to help us along, you see. They're here to help. But yes, now I have to press a button up here because my screen. Murph, where is this now? Will you give a shout out? Just to. Oh, yeah. So I have to say hello to Becca. Becca, sure, listen. You're live television, Becca. Yes, that's right. You're very welcome aboard. Tell the outfit to whish now and make sure he's taking down notes. There's nothing more than the Americans love to hear is an old, thick, loud accent high coming across the airwaves when you're trying to simulate air traffic control. So you tell him, go out and do it. That's right, go out and do it. But you're very welcome in, Becca. And Muse is here as well. And yeah, lads, look, it's a night of kind of revision, little bit of learning, but as I'm saying, if it's your first time delving into this, tonight, if you want to fly along, just fly along. It doesn't have to be on VATSIM. You know, if you have, say, intentions, brilliant. If you don't, just fly along and just take a note. You know, you can watch back the video, keep training on this or learning, you know, refly the route and just write down the communication between ATC and myself and vice versa. It's if you can figure this much out, you're pretty much good to go for VFR flying within the United States. And that's a lot of airspace. You know, once you figured out the airspace, I think you're absolutely laughing. You really are, because apart from that, then it's just a couple of small little nuances and how things are said. And do you know what I mean? So this is the kind of the meat and veg of the old VFR stuff. And as I said, we will transition then further on into the IFR stuff, meaning that, well, anyone who wants to fly in the larger, faster, or even bigger aircraft, well, they are bigger, they're tube liners or jets, well, you're going to be absolutely laughing there as well. Do you know? So it's going to be flat out, lads. It's going to be flat out. But anyway, how was your weekend? Sure, listen. Weather in Ireland isn't great. It washed out of it on Saturday, washed out of it again on Sunday. It's not too bad out there today, though. But oh yeah, it's right. It's Easter's over, and there's all sorts of stuff going on. Yeah, I got that email from WinWing last week. So where WinWing are at, they put out an announcement to say, hey, if you're in the United States, buy our stuff from the USA store. That's all they're pretty much saying. Now, whether or not prices will go up, couldn't tell you. But what they're saying to their US customers, just buy from the US store, don't buy it from the global store. If you buy it from the global store, well, all sorts of bejani then tariffs are going to come in. So that's all they're saying about it. They're not in trouble. They're just saying, hey, this is... You need to do this now, otherwise you're going to have to pay lots of money. So just buy from the US store. You know what I mean? And who knows how much sort of stuff they brought in. I'm just saying now, it's going to be grand. So, right, now that that's out of the way, delve into the chat and see who's here. On a Monday evening. Yes, that's right, friends. Who came in the door? Look, CP65, you're very welcome aboard. Super Typhon, sup? Vacuum is here. Motley, good day to you. Viper Strike is in the house. He flew the Cessna Corvallis over Texas yesterday, visiting Houston, San Antonio, Austin, and Dallas, Fort Worth. Nice. Lead Ballooner, you're looking well, Lead Ballooner. Sir Campsalot, Madude, you're very welcome aboard, man. Jack M, good evening. Naughty Gnome is in the house. Time to talk on some radios. Ooh, behave. Yes, Naughty Gnome, we're going flying tonight in VetSim. It's going to be fun. And we shall learn and break things and probably get given out to. But I'm okay with that. Yeah, it says, I'm the agent. Just put him out in front of the crowd. Hello, yes, it's me. It works all the time. And then we apologise, afterwards. But anyway, Spitfire RAF 100 has, Jesus, 50 months to the channel, man. Thank you very, very much indeed. Where did that time go? 50 months, look. Eamon 1973, very happy Monday to you. Malky Mac is here, welcome in. Shuffle Shoes shuffles in. Edge of H John, hope you're well. Crafty Tiger's good to see you. Me thoughts, flight. Oh wait, hang on. Me flight hot ass dies and I had a what would Murphy do moment and upgraded to the Velocity 1. That'll work. That'll absolutely work. Heisenberg, good to see you. Super Ty says, hope you had a slightly better Easter than me. Not because of chocolates, but I had a 2-hour power outage due to winds blowing a tree down on a power line, causing a loud boom to be heard, which nearly started a fire. Jesus. But luckily the fire and maintenance crews arrived on time despite having no power for 2 hours. It was the wait and see. Enough fires in my area already. 3 house fires in my neighbourhood alone. Oh, mother of Jesus. Stay safe, Super Ty. Sarah Doman, good to see you. Englewood Online, happy Monday. Hope you're keeping well. 98 Vulcan is here. A word of advice, says Heisenberg. He says, do not put a heavy metal object on your mouse charging pad for a long period of time, unless you don't want to have a mouse charging pad anymore. Ooh and eek. Chalks is here, 36 months with a tier 1. Thank you very, very much indeed, Chalks. Thank you. That insane support, lads. You're very kind. Creo, welcome aboard. Energizer is here. It's the last long day of Easter weekend and it's nearly May. Where has the time gone at all? Idle Cutoff. He says, good evening, Murph. Cambridge calling. Hello from Tipperary. You're looking well. Fierce Wolf is here, looking fierce. And Wolfie, welcome aboard. Mrs. Frosty, good evening. Jan Moorcamp is in the house. Muse fan bursts in the door with his eyelash. He says, how he is just mad jokes. Happy Monday. Good to see you, Muse. Black Ice Gabe, we have a Black Ice Gabe. You're welcome aboard, Gabe. Martell is here, welcome in. Captain Gaiman, hey-o, welcome aboard, man. Out here in the suburbs is out there in the suburbs. You're very welcome aboard. Stick Figure, welcome in. Soaring AJ. AJH, hope all is well. Wicked Lumberjacks, 7 streams in a row. Happy? On a Monday? Yes. Now that you're here, we're all happy out. Good to see you, man. Bell Bro, you're looking mighty. Brandishing a new clone. You're very fancy looking. Schutz is in the house. Good to see you. Airwolf 643. Good evening. Little Trader said, holiday is almost over. At least we can fly before work tomorrow. Right. Adam Controls is here. He just walked into the door, flicked off the light switch, and then walked out again. His work here is done. Right. In a box, man. Good to see you. Hope all is well. Old Veteran 965. He says, afternoon all. Hope you enjoy your romp into the VFR flight in the United States. Scott, I love what you've done with the place. Do you know, it is looking awful nice now. You know, great hedgeridge and gardenage, But yes, Adam Controls, excellent. You're welcome in. The VFR pilot, good to see you. Welcome aboard. Today's episode is brought to you by the word shirt. Hang on a second. What's wrong with me shirt? I don't usually wear shirts like this in these streams. What's wrong with me shirt? Come on now. This is a Wrangler shirt, I'll have you know. And they have a big R on right. It says or, and I said, Jesus, Robin, I put names on me clothes. That's how feckin' popular they are. People just want to steal them. Yeah. Oh, Jesus. Zith is here. Good to see you. Oh, Jesus. Oh, a new shirt. Yeah, thanks. Fire out. It looks like a onesie. Oh, Jesus. Like, come on, for God's sake. Right? Yeah, Murph, you look lovely, Murph. Yeah, you're kind of half cleaned up. Yeah, that's right. Or you're just, Jesus, look at his lovely eyebrows. No, straight to the shagging shirt. Anyway, last time I wore a shirt for you, lad. Jesus. Anyway, it looks like a onesie. No, it doesn't. Proby Pete, good evening. Who else come in? Toto, 24.95. Good to see you, Toto. Jesus. Jesus. Who else come in the door there? Sun Jammer, good evening. Naughty Gnome with the teal lightage. Yes. Petrolhead is here. Good to see you. I was doing ACK and Boston on Friday. Ooh, nice. Zybok Doc calling from Denmark. Hello from Tipperary. Hope you're keeping well. Epic Fool has decided to take the evening off from slagging Murphy. Happy Easter. Ah, Epic Fool. You're back in the will. Brilliant. I always knew it. You were right. You know, someone from the county of Clare. I mean, there was promise and, you know, great things can come from Clare. It's a long way from here to there. Thank you very much indeed. CP is here. Try not to crash. Wait, what? Max Stallion, good evening. It was entertaining. Wait now. The most productive point was Murph telling me that my mic was muted on stream for the past 5 minutes. It was brilliant because I was watching the stream and we were all there. You know, and it was like, your stream is muted. Your stream is muted. And I was like, Dublin Tower? Message. Yes, go ahead.
Hello there.
Your stream is muted. Brilliant. What part of the FIR is that in? But sure, anyway, buttons are being pressed over here, look. Let me see now. Jesus. Ferocum Gamer. I got the name right. Ferocum Gamer. Good to see you, man. Englewood says, good old E6B. Great old crack, isn't it? Old Veteran still has his. Nice. Willem FS is here. Good to see you. Yeah, Fearsome Game. It's a love-hate relationship. Yeah, you love to hate them. Swap21 is here. Hola. Velo, good to see you. Gibbo Ireland. Asher, how are you, Gibbo? Look at the abuse I'm getting. Hope you're well, mate. Gunho Guy is here. G Slayer, welcome aboard. The T-38 trainer pilots would have their flight calculators in the cockpit once in a while. It would cost them a case of beer due to being an FOD violation. What? But they were designed to fit into your knee pad, you know. And come here to me, look. If you ever notice this with the old E6B, right? Well, you have your wind speed and stuff on the front, but then you have your range and time distance on the back. Very wonderful invention, this. Invented, of course, by the Irish back in the 6th century BC. And we've perfected it over time. Yes, that's what we've done. Right, where is this now? Only had part about the IFR stuff as learning our RNAV arrival procedures and departures. It's a bit different from Europe. Not have to worry about airspace as ATC take care of that for everyone. Yeah, 100%. So when it comes to the IFR stuff, the next part of this course, that's where we kind of put all the little pieces together. But understanding airspace, because in the States it can happen quite a bit. You get cleared for visuals all the time. You can, you know, do your own thing. So, once we figure out what we can and what we can't do in certain airspaces, it kind of makes it a little bit easier to figure out what might happen next. Do you know what I mean? But yes, right over here, look. G-Slayer, so is my 401k old vet. Jesus. Very early Tuesday morning, says Gunho Guy. Easter has been and gone. Be the Janie. Whiteley, good to see you. Kozaki Flyer. My sim mic did not survive the move. Be a couple of weeks to get before I get a new one. Ah, Kozaki. No worries, man. Schutz ordered himself a Stream Deck Plus earlier today. Looking forward to having a good play with it. Come on yourself, Schutz. They're brilliant. Murph, is the stream schedule going to be the same for this week, seeing as you have to spin over to Rome for that election you're part of? Listen, I have it on good authority that right. I just needed Learjet and the pilot to get me back. Do you know what I mean? Jesus. Dan 1878, good to see you, Dan. Patrick Doyle is here, welcome aboard. Patrick 47, happy Easter to you, Patrick. Jeez, you can't be wearing that. What do you mean you can't be wearing that from Rockstar Support? I thought you said short, and I was like, oh, here comes the banter about short arms and short hands. You're turning green instead of grey. Ah, Jesus. What eyebrows? What do you mean, what feckin' eyebrow? Look at them beautiful eyebrows. I grew them myself, look. Yeah. What's happening to Murphy? He's taking a turn. Beautiful eyebrows, right? Photos by Kev is here. 18 months with Prime. Thank you very much indeed, Kev. Quick, change the subject. A tie is next. Do you know I do have a tie somewhere? 777 is here. Evening. Have you seen that some streamers are now being offered 4K streaming on Twitch? Yeah, well, I can do 4K streaming, but I need a couple of days to figure it all out, right? Subliminal messaging 17, but I need a couple of days to figure it all out. And when I do figure it out, I can guarantee you I'm going to shag it. But after it's shagged, it'll work great. Oh, it'll be brilliant. I'm telling you. 4K clarity. Yes. Until then, nothing we can do. Emerald shirt matches his mascara. Jesus. Alison is here, good to see you. Because of you, I bought a Stream Deck. Oh, good man, Zybok. I should have got a commission deal or something. Balls! Elgato, listen, great bunch of lads. Come here now. now, hey, stick us on the old commission, will you? Like, that's at least 3 people buying a Stream Deck. Come on, will you? I don't know what percentage would work. Balls. Yeah, sure, give us 10%. 10%? What would that be? That'd be like... That'd be 90 quid. Get up there. Would it be? Yeah. Look at that for counting. But anyway, Filthy, you're very welcome aboard. Let me see now. You got my name right. Frozen Gamer, it took a while. I struggled, but you're in. Where is this now? Mike Ox. Jesus, Patrick. No. I nearly said it out loud to say, what's he actually trying to say? Mike Ox. No, DH Magic Man literally just bought Microsoft Flight Sim 2024 and a flight stick. How do you recommend getting started? The complete setups guide is a video I did on YouTube, but plenty of tutorials on YouTube for that. To get started, just jump in. Try the career mode. It'll kind of hold your hand to get you up and running. It uses the default key bindings and all that sort of jazz, but the career mode inside, once you start the flight, it's designed to train and teach you how the sim works, how the cameras work, and you know how to kind of start, you know. But if you're ever stuck, if you have questions, well, do ramble over to our Discord page, channel, no, Discord. It's a Discord group? I don't know what. Discord community. There we go. Exclamation point Discord. That's where I all hang about, you see, you know, and they don't slag me shirt at all. I love how Merv cries to Gibbo about the abuse he's getting, completely forgetting the fact that Gibbo gives him more abuse than any of us. No, he doesn't. That's a terrible rumour. Gibbo's terribly nice to me, you know. Which Wings IFR lessons are we doing tonight? Number 5, the cross country, a VFR cross country. That's what we're up against. Right, over here, look. Murphy for Pope, Jesus, yeah, the Pope passed away. Bloody hell. Did you see it? I didn't know much about this Pope. I remember when I was very young, John Paul II was there. And then we had, what was his name? Pope, Jesus, what was the papal name he used? Ratzinger, was it? What was the Pope's name? And then, of course, we had Pope Francis. And, you know, Pope Francis, very trendy in terms of, you know, really trying to do stuff for the whole, you know, the church, right? But I remember watching a movie called The Two Popes. I highly recommend it. It's very, very good. It was very good. Pope Benedict. Yeah, that's the one. But yeah, there we are now. But yeah, it's they'll do the usual crack now after the next couple of days. They have to vote a new fella in. And well, sure, let's see how that goes. But anyway, good afternoon, Devil Fly. Good to see you. Still can't see them. Who? Wow, some things you just can't unsee. What? You can't... Eyebrows! Oh, Jesus. I'm sure they're beautiful eyebrows. I just can't see them. Murph, you're like a dog I used to have. Shagged everything. Wait, what? He's avoiding streaming in 4K because we see his eyebrows otherwise. You made me buy a Stream Deck too, says Stick Figure. Come on, Stick Figure. Brilliant. One Fly Air is here. Good to see you. I Murphy, get a PC24 to bring you back. Oh, good man yourself. I recommend Control and E to get started. Yes, that always works. Gibbo hasn't even said... Look, he said nothing. Muse stirring it again. It's like that time he took your Stream Deck, Gibbo. I mean, that's just bad show. You know, shabby craftsmanship. I am the king of slagging Murph. Just ask him. Yeah, the old veteran's pretty good now at that, yeah. I got a vid that'll show you how not to shag it, Murph. Thanks, 777. The one that looked like the Emperor for Star Wars. Oh, Jesus. The silence is scary. Wonder if 4K would enlarge the depiction of the massive hands. No, we're talking about resolution here, never mind.
Oh, Jesus.
Well, thanks, Bell, bro. Yeah, Jesus. Gaseous Maximus is here. Good day, everyone. Lurking in the background and rooting on all those brave folks on the radios. Thank you very much. PH Roy, good to see you. Hope you're well. Just scored the Tolus 339. Nice, man, nice. Conclave is a good movie. To see what happens next. Ooh. Is the white and black smoke they use for selecting a new pope eco-friendly? Greta will be over there, no doubt. I see the hair is sticking up higher. Looks like he's working on going for the comb over. What are you talking about? Oh, Jesus, that camera angle doesn't work well at all. We're not too bad from... Oh, no, Jesus, no. Right, listen, I'm just going to say, right, I'm using new lights. Hair penetrating lights. Yeah, that's what they are, lads. And that's why you can't see much of me hair at all. It is there, you know, it's an optical illusion. It's the pattern on me head, you know. Bloody hell. Pro Homer Simpson. Wait, who? Lurk mode only today. Dougal McTavish.
Jesus.
That's okay. We know you're here, man, and we're thinking of you. Loads of hair. Good naughty gnome, right? He knows the crack. He knows the crack, lads. Right. To our friends over on YouTube, you're very welcome in. Who's here? Look, Northland Air, good evening. Uniform Goose. G'day, Goose. Marty K is here. Dave Cleary. Legend Dave. Welcome in, Dave. Andrew Cully, good to see you. Black Sheep Gene is here. Johnny Shoe, welcome aboard. Gene still has his E6B. Wonderful tool, indeed. B&O Railroad, good to see you. Sticky Rice, happy Easter, man. Al Dushar, welcome aboard. Is that uniform for Dobby's Garden Centre? It's a Wrangler shirt. And it was a very expensive Wrangler shirt, I'll have you know, right? Made out of real Wrangler, right? Bloody hell, the abuse. Mrs. TPHI, good to see you. You're very welcome in. Right?
Welcome to my secret underground day.
Next week's stream, how to dress Smurf. No, wait, that won't work. Lots of hair, he knows the crack. Wait, what? Shaz Babylon is here. 2 months, man. Thank you very, very much indeed. What ledge. An absolute legend. QC Frank, welcome in. Murph, you should lower your... Wait now. Murph, you should lower your... Wait, your light. You're starting to look two-tone. Lower me light, you say. How's that? Now I look terribly red and that's the way my lighting used to be. Sure, you practically couldn't see me at all. Do you know what I mean? Jesus. It's a shiny Wrangler shirt. Doobies. Wrangler. Not Wangler. Get Murph wearing a shirt to detract the size of his hands. Cyrus T is here, adding to the fire, fuel on the fire. Welcome in, Cyrus. Yes. I remember the days of two-tone trousers. Bring them back, I tell you. Naughty Gnome challenge. Or no, he didn't. He changed the lights to teal, look. Brilliant. Wrangler with it. Oh, yeah, Wrangler. A W, not an R, but it sounds like a Wangler. Right. Wrangler shirt with the leaf eyes. It's a nice shirt. Murph wore that shirt so he can have something besides his hands to talk about. Yous are all feckin' hilarious. All right, bunch of funny lads below, huh? Nothing like it now, yeah. Jesus then, it's a lovely shirt. Sometimes that's all I wear. Get a good hard look at that now, lads, huh? Jesus, no wrangling. No wangling. Wait, there's only two-tone pants when he spills on himself. Listen, this escalated terribly quick. We're here to learn about ATC, right? You know, not Murphy's Apparel. I did mean to ask, when did you join the army? It's not an army shirt. Listen now, right? This is a nice shirt. I've black ones. I should have ordered a black one. I have 2 black ones and a green one. And then I have a shocking big large black one because I got the sizes wrong. I ordered like 3XL, like tall. The thing is like a friggin' night dress. It's like a night dress. Yeah, don't wear that one. Two-tone trousers. That's what happens when you put your Guinness on your pants. Is that your out shirt for the ladies? Like, for the this is a nice shirt, Gibbo. Yes, I wear this outside in public. People, you're accustomed to seeing me like this. Kinda. Well, I don't have the headphones. Hang on, look. Well, hello. Right, that's how I look like in the real world. I know. Cold showers, everyone. You all need them, right? Murph should just wear the abomination of a shirt that Gibbo gave him for the streams. No, there's a plan for that. I don't wear dresses. Look at that classic man. APU inspector, right? That's a nice shirt if you're a crocodile hunter. It's business. Look at that. Shag off, Illy. Jesus. Murph folds it into a kilt. Wait, what? The Vegas shirts need to make a comeback. Oh, we do have Vegas shirts. Yes. Drummer, good to see you. I'm bringing me Vegas shirts to... Well, Providence, but you know what I mean. Oh, they'd be making a fiery return, so they will. Gibbo, I'm telling you, man, Jesus, you better get an Hawaiian shirt. I'm just saying, they're important. And wigs, yeah. I think I need to knit him a new shirt, Linny Bobbins. What's wrong with this shirt? Multiple buttons, multiple pockets, right? The sleeves can be rolled up for aerodynamic purposes. Helps you move faster, right? The green brings the colour of those eyes. I hope you mean that in a good way, right? Yeah, bloodshot. What happened to the leprechaun you stole the shirt from? Didn't know Barbie wears an army outfit. I had one like that 30 years ago, Platty Trying Flying says. It's a timeless attire. What you do on the stream last night, lads, learning ATC? Oh, we slagged the shite out of Murphy's shirt. What? No, absolutely not. Now, yeah, sleeves can be rolled up to maximize the amount of hand exposure. Murph, if you wear that shirt outside, people, I bet, definitely duck and dive. You've ran out of TTM merch. No, I haven't. I should have. Right, you can buy these shirts. Yes, TTM shirts. 2 for a $5 or 4 for 2. Am I finding this? I'm finding the no slagging Murphy off thing very hard at the moment. Jesus, right. Come on there now, you great. Yeah, CP65, they're shocking. You know, they're terrible. Yeah, that's right. What did you learn yesterday? I learned ATC procedures from a walking leprechaun. Listen, can we all just pause now for a second and have a good hard look at CP65's comment on Twitch? He says, you people are mean today. Yes, they are. Did Gibbo send his shirt as a wind-up? The first one he did. Somewhere in Murph's neighbourhood, there's a topless leprechaun running around. Jesus Christ. Right, come on now, you lot. Supposed to be serious and learning things and doing stuff, but no feckin' way at all. These lads all want to jump in and have the crack. UK meetup reminder. Yeah, I'll be wearing this shirt as well. You're wearing that shirt for the bet? No, Listen, it's a lovely shirt. And if you don't like it, you need to have a serious sit down with yourself and look in the mirror, right? Death's Angel is here. Nice shirt. Come on yourself, Death's Angel. Brilliant. I like the shirt. Thank you very much, Calix. Loves the shirt. Oh, yeah. 1's in chat if you like my shirt. 2's in chat if you don't like my shirt. Now, let's get an L community vote. What have I done? Crafty Tigers, they better not. They better not. Kippo just typed in boobies. Brilliant. What a way to break the stream. That's fantastic. Right, I think we'd prefer the back of the head camera than looking at a shirt. Jesus. Right, anyway, great bunch of lads. Right. It makes the hands look smaller than usual. Oh, this is the last time Murph will ever wear a new shirt. Nothing like, a very neutral community like ourselves to bring something new to show off. What do you think, friends? You like my shirt? Does it come with elbow pads? No, it doesn't, Gibbo. No, there's no elbow pads. I can sew them on now, but no, it doesn't. Yeah, great bunch of lads. Right, anyway, less of that now. Did you get a free bowl of soup with that shirt? Oh, it's a nice shirt, to be fair. But there was no way I was going to miss such an opportunity to mention it. We're doing a shirtless stream tomorrow. Yeah, shirtless stream. The last time I wore a friggin' shirt, yous were all like, oh, here's Lumberjack Murphy. Oh, Tower came online. Brilliant. Right, we can't dilly-dabble now. We've ATC waiting on us, I've worked it out. Mr. Two-Tone may not have been around to prove his outfit. Looks like a notice just came out. NOTAMs appear to be getting ready to revert back to notice to airmen. Yeah. Honestly, nothing shows your true feelings for another guy like taking the absolute piss out of them. Yeah. Space a ration pack in his pocket. There is space for a ration pack. There is. That Murphy fella, he'd give you the shirt off his back. Nah, you're all right. Brilliant. Sorry, Murph. The shirt gets away. The shirt's great. Please don't do a shirtless stream. Right. Anyway, what did we do? Oh, yeah, we're doing this. Right. Calm down now, lads. We're going to just ease into ourselves. Right. So we're going to do a quick recap of last week, which was lessons 3 and 4. I've tears in my eyes before the stream even starts, the serious stuff. This is a good start. I'm not just stabbing me ear. Right, so last week it was all about flying into the Class Bravo and flying out of a Class Bravo. The Class Bravo airspace, right? Oh, Jesus, look what the wind blew in. Ailerons into wind. Happy Monday, small hands. I mean, Murph. Do you like my shirt, Stewie? Lovely, isn't it? So anyway, last week we were doing that with wings. So we're going to bring up some web pages here. And we're going to review some stuff, right? So we start off, friends, at the very beginning. we'll go over to twotonemurphy.com and click up here on the Learn ATC series. Gibbo has been hard at work making all of this look very presentable and understandable, despite my best efforts, but he's done a class job. So we can go in here now. This is our FAA Conversion course, and we have all the course videos, the ground school document. That's what we're going to focus on today. And there's a couple of things we need to figure out and work on. So when we talk about airspaces in the United States, this is where, as I said, the vast majority of what it is we need to learn, that's where this all lives. It's the airspace. Next week, we're going to move on to the IFR side of the fence. Airspace knowledge requirements, they're important, but they kind of taper off a little bit because, well, we're going to be maintaining ATC communication as much as possible during an IFR flight. And even if there isn't, ATC available, we can still kind of just stick to our flight plan, right? On the VFR side of the fence, what we did last week was fly into a Class Bravo, and then we flew back out of the Class Bravo, which is pretty cool, right? Because how airspaces work, right? Just to give you a very quick kind of... Oh, come here, I'll show you this, look. You're going to be impressed about this, right? Basically, the letters of class airspace, right? As I say, the higher or so Alpha being the biggest, Bravo being, well, almost the biggest, Charlie, Delta, Echo, and then Golf, right? But how it works is this. Let's say, for example, we're going to be looking at, I should really do this by colors, but don't mind me for the minute. If we look at, say, the class Echo airspace, right? And then we say we look, well, you've Delta as well, but that's usually smaller, right? Oh, no, sorry, what am I saying? You have Echo, the Class E, and remember, E is pretty much everything. Just try and remember it as that. There are some areas in the US that's Class G or Class Golf, but they're fading fast. It's really only like in South Texas and probably up in Alaska now that you have this layer that you're going to be flying in for an extended period of time. The Class Golf, it's very much, from the surface up to about 1,200 feet, unless stated otherwise. So it's kind of like the little gap in between other airspaces, all right? So the Class Echo, this will usually start at 1,200 feet, right? And she goes all the way up in America to flight level 180, okay? And then it starts off again at flight level 600, but we don't need to worry about that, all right? Then you have the Class Alpha. Just to explain, Class Alpha starts... Class Alpha starts at flight level 180, yeah? Jesus, can I not draw a straight line? Class Alpha starts at 180... Oh, Jesus, Murphy. Class Alpha starts at 180, yeah? And she goes all the way up then to flight level 599999. That's Class A. VFR are not allowed in Class Alpha, okay? At all. We're not allowed up there. Now, you might wonder, why did they stop this at flight level 180? This is kind of like one of those interesting factoids. When these airspaces were actually invented, when they came up with the airspace system in the United States, well, at the time, it was very rare that your standard general aviation aircraft could get up to that altitude. Most of them at the time could only fly at around 15,000 feet, right? So they wanted to restrict general aviation aircraft, usually flying under visual flight rules. They wanted them out of the Alpha airspace because from 18,000 feet up to 60,000 feet, well, what's usually cruising up there? The big guys, the jets, right? So be aware of that, but that's why they're there, right? Delta is next. So you have Echo and then you have Delta. Delta, right? I could have done this better, but I won't. You have Delta. Then after Delta, you have Class Charlie, right? One of these. Don't mind the colours for a minute, lads. Right? After that, then you have our Class Bravo. I'm just doing mad colours just to show you what they look like. That's all. Right? This is really a bad diagram, but you're going to get the idea, right? Remember we said to you about like upside down wedding cakes and all this sort of stuff, right? But don't worry about that for the minute. So we're going to say this is Bravo, this is Charlie, this is Delta, and this is Echo, all right? The point I'm trying to make to you here is, and this is relatively important, So bear with me now. We'll tidy this up because, you know, Bob Ross now, Jesus, he doesn't have a patch on me, I tell you, right? The class Echo usually starts at 1,200 feet above ground level, all right? And what we're trying to show here, lads, is you can fly under a class Echo or you can go above class Echo, right? But when you're inside class Echo, you need to be careful. In your class Delta, this goes from the surface up, one straight line. So from the surface, so that means it's usually over an airport. That means we need to establish two-way radio communications with the ATC inside the class Delta. We can't go under it. We can go above it, but usually it's at an airport, all right? Class Charlie, like Delta, goes from the surface, but then at the top, surface to a certain altitude, but as you move away from the airport, these sides here, yeah, well, there's another layer. And again, the reason why they do this, think about it for a moment. Aircraft will be descending and then taking off out of this area, yeah? Does that make sense? Does that make sense? They need a wider airspace the higher up. So the further away from the airport, that layer goes up the way, right? Makes sense? Then you have the class Bravo. Class Bravo is the busiest of the airports. This, similar to your Delta, similar to your Charlie, but then it has a much bigger layer outside of that once again. Now, you can fly in here and be in no one's airspace. You can fly here and be in no one's airspace, yeah? So when you start going into these areas here, this is where the crack kind of starts upsetting you. See, that's what we need to be aware of, all right? We kind of get the idea now. You often hear them saying it's like an upside down wedding cake. It's a layered system. The closer you are to the airport, well, then the smaller range around that airport, but the higher you get, it now extends its range, yeah, but it becomes a shelf. It's not straight to the surface anymore. There's a start point and an end point, and that's the same for Class Bravo. To remember airports for us and flight simmers, Echo tends to be for general aviation, as does Delta, right? So our GA live in this area here. That's a shocking pencil. Where's the thickness of... Don't answer that. We'll go with this. So our class Echo is here. That's for GA. Class Delta, usually GA as well, right? Class Charlie, you can get GA in there, but you're now dealing with things like, Learjets, 737s, all that sort of stuff. The kind of medium-sized aircraft. Dublin, for example, would be class kind of C, right? Your class Bravo, this is where the big, massive aircraft come in and out of. Your 747s, your A380s, your DC-10s, your 787, all these lads always tend to use the class Bravo. They are the most busiest of airports, and you'll find them Boston, LA, so on, right? Class Charlie is, well, very popular because it can, a little bit of GA, but it's more your municipal airports. It's more of your kind of 737 neck of the woods. The Class Delta, very much, helos, general aviation, turboprops, that kind of thing. That's where they kind of live. All right? Right. All the other areas is Class Golf. Within reason. Within reason. The United States, they're constantly updating their airspaces now, and it's rough. It's actually slightly more than that. 99% of the airspace is Class Echo, E, everyone or everything, right? It used to be the case that Class Golf, that used to look after everything, but that's all changed now. Basically, your Class Golf usually goes from the surface up to 1,200 feet, or in some cases it only goes to 700 feet. Now, those two places I mentioned earlier, Alaska and South Texas, right? Well, those areas, the Gulf airspace can actually go up as high as 14,999 feet, right? And I'm going to show you some examples of that over on our sectional charts. Now, before we look at the charts, right, I want you to think about this for a moment. Aircraft using all these other airspaces, yeah, we know that they need to have two-way radio communications with ATC. Okay, what happens if, or what might stop you having two-way radio communications with ATC? So let's say, for example, your airplane is fitted with a radio, the tower has a radio, and you're out flying about in like this Class Golf area. Why mightn't you be able to speak to that ATC controller? Now, you may not get it, but let's just see some answers coming in there now. Stu Snape, thank you very much indeed, man. 3 months, you ledge. Jesus. Thank you very much indeed. Dr. Sisu is here. Good to see you. Line of sight, terrain. It's the terrain, okay? Think about it. This is radio, high frequency or very high frequency. It's radio communication, radio waves, right? Usually you need an aerial on top of a mountain, and that transmits out over a certain range. You put something between you and that transmitter, you ain't going to get them. The airspaces that Class Golf extends all the way up to just under 15,000 feet. They're in places in Alaska, quite mountainous, very mountainous, and the very, very south of Texas. The reason why is, well, they're very obscure areas. There's high terrain in some, you're in the wilderness in others. So there's only really 2 places left in the United States that have that Gulf airspace from the surface all the way up to 14,999 feet. The vast majority of the United States, and I mean the vast majority, your Gulf airspace is from the surface to 1,200 feet. The only time you're going to see 700 feet is if the Class Echo kind of shelf goes around it, meaning that Class Echo is now starting, or it's starting at 700. All right. The Class Echo usually starts at 700 or 1,200, depending, right? And we'll learn a little bit about that today because we're going to have to know it because we're flying into a ton of it. Class Delta then takes over. Again, remember, there's an airport down here, and this area of its airspace is around that direct airport. The Class Charlie, same crack again. You have an airport there, but because you have aircraft coming in and out, usually larger aircraft, they need an extra layer on top to allow for that transition. Hence, we have a shelf on top of it. Then Bravo, same crack. There is an airport in Bravo. Duck your head. You have an airport down here, but it has much larger shelves. Many of them that extend from the surface to whatever level this is, and then they extend outwards. And we'll have a look at this on our sectional charts, right? I wanted to show off me fancy Bob Ross drawings, but that effectively is just to give you an idea to help you visualize what we're doing, all right? Umar ATC, welcome in. Bio Games, welcome in. So when we talk about airspaces, we don't necessarily need to know all the little bits and bobs about them. We worry about this when it comes to our flight planning. Remember, we plan hard, we fly easy. That's the point of all of this. Spend that little bit of extra time in your flight planning so you know what to expect from your flight. Make sense? Right, we shall continue. So tonight, what we have to plan to do, it's a VFR cross-country flight. And what we're going to do, we're going to be departing out of Nashua. We're going to be flying up to a towered airport, minimum 50 nautical miles away. That's what qualifies for a cross-country. Your first stop must be minimum 50 miles away. Our second airport is going to be untowered, meaning there is no active control tower there, right? And then we return back to our starting airport. That is our cross-country. In Ireland, they tend to go from Weston, Sligo, Shannon, Weston, usually. Right? Or they might leave Shannon out of it. They like using that Class Charlie, but they might leave Shannon and they might go into, they can go anywhere really. What's the one in Limerick? Cuna. That's what they do in Ireland, right? For the cross country. Doesn't mean that you have to go across different countries, right? That's an international flight plan. That's something different. But anyway, we get the idea, right? Okay. So we now need to plan a flight that's going to take us from these airports. Now, the beauty of all of this, Wings for flight number 5, well, they're going to get you covered. They're going to say, hey, try this one. Here's a route for you. This is what you need to worry about. This is what you need to focus on. And this is what you're going to say to ATC. Hence, the Wings course, it's telling you everything that's needed for your practical flight. Now, there are some nice to do areas in all of this, right? I mean, we have areas here, as you read down through your training material, we can check out the weather minima, right? Now, the weather minima is important because in the real world, as I say, they really focus on the distance you are from clouds, right? Now, I don't need to delve too much into this, but just remember the following, right? In a Class E airspace, Class Echo, if you're above 10,000 feet, right, you need 5 clear miles, 5 statute miles of visibility. And then you also need to have clearance of the clouds, 1,000 above, 1,000 below, and then usually kind of a minimum square or statute miles horizontal. Now, wait and see this. I'm getting it painting again. This here, I'm going to draw a cloud. You ready? There's Murphy's cloud, right? Okay. Now, the FAA will say minimum altitude from a cloud must be 500 feet below, yeah, or 1,000 feet above. Don't worry about the lateral offset or the distance. This is purely from the height of a cloud, right? Does anyone have any idea why it's okay to be a little bit lower than the cloud at 500 feet and why it has to be 1,000 feet above? Why might that be, right? Looks like me wig. Thanks, lads. Well, if you don't know the answer, I'm going to tell you, right? Here's your aeroplane, right? It's a lovely aeroplane, isn't it? Oh, Jay's then, he's very good. This aeroplane, what do we do when we climb out? We tend to climb at a faster rate. Usually, you know, we can go 1,000, we can go 1,500 feet per minute climbing. That means we're going to burst through the clouds fairly quick. When we're descending, we tend to descend a little bit slower. Yeah? There's me plane. It's a mad looking Christmas tree. We tend to descend a little bit slower. Yeah? Now, the reason why the rules are here for the cloud separation, the chances are something's going to go through the clouds heading up faster than they're going to head through the clouds heading down. The reason why these distances are there, they're not for nothing. It's all about giving you sufficient time to be able to see and avoid the object. See and avoid. That's what VFR flying is. You see it, you avoid it. All right. When we're talking about traffic. So that's what they mean by cloud separation or minima or, you know, weather minimums and all this. All right. So just remember that the reason why you can have 1,000 foot clearance above the cloud versus 500 below it minimum, because they're moving faster going up than they would be coming down. Usually. All right. And it's to give you time to get around that aircraft to get out of its way. That's usually what happens, right? Anyway, some of the rules change depending then if it's nighttime or you can get into special VFR. We're not going to worry about that for the moment. Also, when it comes to some of the other airspaces, you can also have known what is called, what are they called? Satellite airports, right? So let's say you're at an airport in a certain airspace, but there's another airport also in your airspace, but you can actually go by their weather as well. But again, don't get too much bogged down in that. That's more for the real world application when it comes to your flight training and all that stuff. In a flight sim, we can play, you know, the man with the beard. We can say, look, I don't want any clouds. Do you know what I mean? And that's what we'll kind of focus on. All right. Now, for this flight tonight, we need to do a little bit of stuff. There's many websites that provide METAR and TAF reports. I mean, you can get it inside of Navigraph now. We can do it here in the chat. You can put in ! METAR space and then enter the 4-letter ICAO code. The bot should run off and get you. Someone tried that there. ! METAR space KASH. Let's see if that works, right? Anyway, we can also go over to the NOAA's Aviation Weather Channel, which is absolutely deadly. There you go. Adam Control's got it there. So you can do that in you can do it on our live streams here on Twitch. You can also do it over on Discord as well. So if you're ever stuck and you want to go flying, just put in ! METAR, the ICAO code you're looking for. It'll go off and it'll find it. Now it's giving you raw data, but it's enough to get you going, right? So what we have here, this is the Aviation Weather Center, and we've two things. Yeah, so the Aviation Weather Center. What I want you to have a look at in here is when you open this web page, I'm going to share this in the chat now, right? Save this into your favorites, lads, because this is what, you know, all the METAR reports and all that jazz in the United States, this is where they get it from. This is the horse's mouth. Just remember that. Go over to products, and we're going to come down to METAR and TAF data. Products, METARs, and TAFs. METAR is the meteorological terminal, the weather at the airport, and a TAF is the terminal area forecast, right? So if I were to put in here KASH, KASH, right, and we're going to load this, right, it's going to give me the current METAR. The 21st day, which is today, the 21st of April, at 1956 Zulu, the winds are 120 at 8 knots, gusting 15, 10 statute miles, overcast at 5,500 feet. We have temperature is 16 degrees Celsius, dew point -3, and the altimeter settings are 3015. Remarks, we're okay, just it's to rain tomorrow, I think, right? Now, we can decode this. Click on the little decoder button. That makes sense? See what you can do already, yeah? Brilliant. Or you can alphabet size it. I think that's when it comes to the METAR itself. But anyway, look, the main thing here is you can decode the gadget just from this website. Dead handy, yeah? Dead handy. Now, there's a ceiling here of 5,500 feet. That might play a little bit of havoc with us. We'll have to wait and see. We can also go to a TAF, and a TAF is important. I can't find a TAF, so you find the next nearest airport. There's probably one up in Manchester, which is KMHT, is it? MHT? Manchester Regional. Manchester's just up the road here from Nashua. And you can see the TAF, the Terminal Area Forecast. When we can see, right, okay, what's happening? Forecast period, significant change, broken clouds of 4,000 with light rain. So there's rain on the way. Do you get the idea? All right. This is an excellent website. Save that into your favorites, and we'll spend a lot of time there. All right. So we need to figure out the weather. When we're planning a flight plan, we need to figure out the weather. Now, as I say, we have massive advantages in a simulator because, well, we can change the weather. All right. Now, other stuff, how to read a METAR, all that information also lives inside our ground school document. You can get this over on our website. So if you're to look at METAR, click on the METAR here, it starts explaining what a METAR is and how to read it. Then we go into a TAF, and then the information that you're going to get from an ATIS, the Automatic Terminal Information Service, right? All the information is here it is in the book. Tis in the book, all right? So have a read up on it if you're not sure. That's the whole point of having the ground school document. You can go in and say, hey, we're talking about this. What do they mean? All right? Right. METAR is good. What we're going to be doing here, so the first step in examining METAR, that's grand. Next step is grand. This flight in the Wing series is the first, but certainly not the last. It'll take you to an untowered airport. So it's important to review untowered airport operations, assuming that you're receiving flight following. Now, we're jumping ahead of ourselves. Let's first plan the flight. We'll do this fairly sharply. So we're going to start off with a flight plan, and I'm going to use the one that was recommended by Wings. So it's going to see us starting out of Nashua. So we're going to add this in. This is Sky Vector, by the way. If you don't have Sky Vector saved, you need to have it saved. Put it into your favorites bar as well. Our first flight is going to take us up to Kilo Lima Echo Bravo, Lebanon. That's our first stop, and we can see, well, we'll go through the airspace in a moment. Our next stop then is going to be down at Concord, and then we're going to come back into Nashua. That's what our flight plan looks like. So we're going to be taking off out of Nashua. We're going to fly all the way up here to Lebanon. From Lebanon, then we're going to head all the way back down here to Concord. And how do we know this is an uncontrolled airport? It's a non-towered airport. Well, let's look at it for a minute. It has its own colour, right? There is a class of airspace around it, right? You can see that. It's like a keyhole, right? But there's no tower frequency on it. Look at that. Let's compare. You come down to Manchester, CT 121.3, control tower. All right. Come down to Nashua. What can we see in Nashua? CT 133.2. All right. On up to Lebanon. Into Lebanon, you can see Lebanon CT 125.9 or 5. There's a control tower at these facilities, and it's also the colour, right? So we're going to have a look at where we're departing. We're departing out of Nashua. This is in a class Delta, class Echo, but there's also a class Charlie here. This is all this area here because Manchester is in a class Charlie. How do we know it's class Charlie? Because it's a full coloured magenta line around it. Now, let's have a look because there's different altitude restrictions in and around this airport. So we can see, right, well, if we're down here and the control area of the Delta is at 2,700 feet. All right. So from the surface up to 2,700 feet, that is Nashua. Okay. Okay. What happens if we ramble into here, into the areas that are in the class Charlie? Well, the FAA state that when you have merging or converging airspaces, they'll always go with the more busier airspace. So in this case, to the north of the airport, this is going to be classed as class Charlie, or at least once you're outside the immediate vicinity of the airspace of that tower. Okay, grand. Does that mean we can't fly in there? No, it just means we need permission before we enter it. You need permission before you get in there. Well, you need to establish two-way radio communications. You can't just ramble in, all right? So that's grand. We're going to take off from Nashua, and be careful as we fly out here. If we just take off from the runway and fly straight out, well, we don't want to go into that airspace unless we ask the question, all right? Grand. Our first stop is going to take us, so see all this airspace up here? This is all going to be class Echo, right? All class Echo, and we're staying away of other airspace, so we're flying up until we get to here. Here's another class Delta, and we're going to be landing at Lebanon. And we can see that there is a control tower, 125.95. Grand. So we know we need to talk to this guy before we enter. Perfect. All right. When we're leaving there, we're going to head back down the way, right? Again, we're not worried about anyone's airspace. until we get down to this neck of the woods, Concord Municipal. Now, it's Class Echo. We won't be talking to anyone because it's an untowered airport. At this stage, we would go to the CTAF. It used to be the case on VATSIM. You just went on to Unicom. We spoke about that already. How you know what the CTAF frequency is? You all see the C here? See the C? It looks like a copyright sign. Wherever you see that C next to a frequency, that is the CTAF Unicom radio frequency for that specific airport. So we need to tune to this guy. If we didn't have ATC coverage en route between Lebanon and Concord, when we leave Lebanon, that's when we go on to 122.8 standard for VATSIM because there's no one controlling us. Then we would transfer over to the CTAF once we entered this little airspace here, and we'd be just self-announcing our positions. Who are we? What are we? Where are we? What are we doing? That's all. All right. It'll get a little bit tricky then because, well, we want to come home. We want to head back to Nashua. All right. Tima, good to see you. Now, if we're heading back home to Nashua, well, we have this big, massive Charlie airspace blocking our path. Yes, we can fly over it because we can see, well, this part of the airspace starts at 2,000 feet and it ends at 4,300. So, yeah, we could fly over it. Sure, we can. But you can see here then, as you get closer to the airport, remember the drawings I did? That's from the surface up to 4,300. So you could fly directly over the airport and stay out of that airspace, right? But where's the fun in that? We're going to ask Manchester, we'll talk to him before we enter his airspace and say, hey, we want to fly down to Nashua. Is it okay if we kind of transition and fly by the river? And he might say, no, I'm too busy, right? Or he can say, yeah, here's a squawk. Here's your identifier. Pop it in there and I'll keep an eye on you. Because if we're following the river, we're going into his immediate tower area. He probably might say, stay clear of the tower, stay clear of the airfield. Okay, well, that means we'll stay in these areas out here. And that's going to be relatively easy to plan because we can say, okay, as we're flying down from the river, right, it's going to be a right turn and then we're going to look for visual reference points, VFR or VRFs, man-made obstacles, right? If there was, what do we have? New Boston Tracking Station, you might have forests, lakes, railways, power lines, your visual reference points, all right? But I'm hoping he's going to say, yeah, go on, sure, knock it out. Head on down there, follow the river. Then we're going to be talking back to Nashua Tower if they're there, and we're going to go in. All right? Without identifier, they cannot track you on the radar. Grand Daniel, they can, but usually they won't because they'll have a lot of aircraft squawking standard VFR, which is 1200, 1200. They want to see you at all times on the radar because it's the same when you get flight following. They'll give you a very unique identifier code, so you're there popping away on the radar screen. They can see you. They know your altitude and they know what you're about. They're focusing their energy on you when they give you an identifier. If the airspace is like very quiet and there's no one flying around, they might just give you 12. They mightn't care. They mightn't give you one. But most of the time, they're going to give you one. All right? They're going to give you your own identifier. Right. Now, that's the flight planning stage. We need to figure out the weather, which we have a good idea. We can get that from SkyVector. Highlight the little dots. That's going to give you the information. The weather at Nashua is overcast at 5,500 and the winds are 120 at 8 knots. So the winds are coming in from 120. Right? What's our choice of runway going to be? So at Nashua, we can see, right, we can click in on Nashua or we can bring up Navigraph and you can zoom right into Nashua because now you're going to get the actual airport itself. If the winds are coming in from 120, yeah, we're going to be taking off from what direction, lads? We fly into the wind. Yeah, we fly into the wind. Now, if you're still unsure, maybe the winds are calm, in this case, they're not. They're 8 knots. That's considerable. So we need to fly into the wind or as close to the wind as we can. If you're unsure, the ATIS is going to help you out. The weather sock is going to help you out. All these things are going to help you out. So we'll figure that one out in a minute. All right. Now, what happens if we're flying along and we want to follow this direct course and heading 340 degrees for 61 miles? Yeah, we can do that. But wind is going to knock us off course. It's going to blow us off course. So there's a little gadget here that we can use, and that's called your E6 flight computer or your E6B. One of these fellas. That's the one I showed you earlier on, yeah? And what this is going to do, it's going to help us calculate a heading to stay on course to our destination, which is going to be dealing with the offset caused by the wind, you see? So let's see if we can populate this. I'm going to give you this website. This is another one. Add on in to your favorites, all right? The E6B, and it explains to you how you can use this. Now, you can buy them. They're like 20 bucks or something. They're very handy, but you can use a digital one. As flight simmers, just use a digital one, all right? So it's going to say, place the wind direction under the true index. All right, well, the wind direction, we've already gotten that. Yeah, we got that from Sky Vector. The wind direction is 120 degrees. All right, wind direction is going to be 120. The wind speed is 8 knots, right? Our course, what we want to head to the airport, is going to be a course of 340 degrees. See how I'm getting that? 340 degrees, all right? So we want to go 340 degrees. What's our airspeed going to be? I'm in the Gabrielle. We'll probably do about 130 knots. Okay. So to counteract the wind, you can see this red little dot that just appeared here now. That's what you do with the E6B. Ideally, a pencil you can use, but if you had like a highlighter or a whiteboard marker, they work a little bit better. So this is already giving us the information of what we need to now put into our nav aid. And your nav aid is effectively a little flight plan. You can have a look here. This is what your nav aid or your nav log looks like. Here's another website you can go to, right? Now, all of this, lads, is available on the Wings website for this flight. They're giving you all this information. But this is what your little nav log will look like. So this is where you put in all your information for your flight. Tons of it. You've seen similar versions of this before when it comes to the IF4 stuff, yeah? And this is what it looks like when it's completed. And you can see there's loads of room that you can write in, you know, you can get an idea. This is you planning it. Okay, well, Jesus, look, I'm going to land on this runway here. I'm going to park over this neck of the woods. And these are all the frequencies I need to talk to. Okay, so this is your flight plan. Effectively, this is you planning the flight, all right? Now, your E6 is going to give us this heading, and that should take us up the road towards Lebanon. Now, things will change a little bit later on because we'll have to plan to aim off. And again, if you're using modern avionics, GPS, you probably won't have the same headaches. You probably just won't have the same headaches because, well, the Garmin unit is going to do a pretty good job on autopilot, and that's going to automatically keep you on course. I have an eyelash or something going into my eye. But yeah, is that making sense so far? Have I lost anyone yet? Has anyone passed out from the sheer what in the name of Jesus is he doing? No, good. Wait, you have. Stand up quick. Right, so back to our wings. The first, or this flight in Wings is the first, but certainly not the last time we're going to go to an untowered airport. So we want to say, well, how do we deal with an untowered airport? Again, Boston Virtual have given us a ton of information here when it comes to uncontrolled airport operations. Now, we also have this in our own ground school document. If we have a look here, it goes into tons of information, how to enter the pattern and so on. It's all there. And how do we enter to fly into that untowered airport? All right, keep this page open here. Again, it's in our own document. We go to contents, scroll down to where it says untowered airports and what to do. It's down at the bottom here, towered versus non-towered airports for VATSIM pilots. So that's going to be on page 245 with our own ground school document. And it explains what the crack is. So if you're stuck, there's a full explanation. What the devil is it? Have a read over it and then see how you go. All right. This is how you talk or communicate at untowered airports. For example, you'd say something like, Concord traffic, Gabrielle, November 235, 6 miles to the east, inbound for a full stop landing, Concord. So you're basically, the reason why you say the airport at the start and at the finish, that's important, because if someone only turns onto the frequency and you're midway during your conversation, they don't know who you're talking to. So you say the airport at the start and at the end, because when you finish talking, you say Concord, they'll say, oh, hey, I'm going to Concord. I better listen to this guy. Hey, can you say that again? That's the idea behind it. All right. Okay. So 'tis there in the book. So where's this gadget here now? Wings flight. So the introduction material is completed. Time to start planning your flight. We've now just planned our flight. All right. And depending on the ATIS, right, which we can dial into now, because ATIS is online. So let's go into the sim and grab the ATIS, because this is going to start telling us, well, what we're doing. Yeah, what we're doing. So we set that view, jump into our little airy plane. There we go. And, well, let me see. Bring up my tablet. And we can disappear some stuff. So remove, close this. Get that canopy down here. And we're going to lock it into place. Lock it into place. All right, so we're going to go with the battery first and get our avionics turned on. Okay. Now I'm on VATSIM. Do we see any traffic? I see one aircraft all the way over there. That's probably naughty gnome. Okay, so we're going to tune our radios into the ATIS is 125.1. All right, 125.1, 125.1. Transfer. 125.
New York Stewart traffic, FedEx 1564 coming in for a ILS runway 09, HUD 4 IGN. Approach arrival.
125.1.
150 at 8 gust 1510 miles visibility. Overcast 5500, temperature 16. Dew point -03, altimeter 3015. Visual approach runway 14 in use, landing and departing runway 14. Advise you of ATIS, information Delta.
Okay, so we're starting to hear some stuff, right? So we know straight away.
Nashua Tower ATIS, information Delta, time 1956 Zulu, the wind 150 at 8 gust 1510 miles visibility, overcast 5500, temperature 16. Dew point -03, altimeter 3015. Visual approach runway 14 in use, landing and departing runway 14. Advise you of ATIS, information Delta.
So information Delta, that's important for us, all right? Ash Tower is on 133.2, so 133.2.
Nashua Tower ATIS, information Delta, time 1956 Zulu, the wind 150.
Okay. So we have the tower frequency on, yes, or on next. So we know, lads, we need to plan our flight departing out of runway 14. Runway 14. So we're going to be departing out of this way. So that means our little flight here is going to have to change a little bit. So I'm going to remove you. Where is this now? Remove you. And remove you. So what's going to happen? We're going to take off from runway 14. All right, we're going to select runway 14 over here. And what we're going to do after takeoff, lads, we're going to head out from the airport, right? Off runway 14. And we're going to head down this neck of the woods here. But to make life easy on myself, because I don't want to fly into that Charlie airspace if I can manage it, right? We're going to head south a little bit. Because I want to stay outside of that airspace. And that's the plan here, all right? So let's see what we can see. We're going to aim for a couple of VFR or visual reference points. That would be the easiest thing to do, all right? So to do that, well, once we take off, keep flying out, right? And we can see then that we're going to have a golf course. Yeah, we should see a golf course and the river. We're going to see the river and a golf course. That's what we need to keep our eyes open for. All right. After that, now be careful. You don't want to encroach into friggin' the Boston class Bravo, but we're miles out. We can fly this way. Or even, we don't even have to go that far. We can go, once we're clear of the runway, I mean, we're flying on that path. We're just looking for a golf course. We should see it. We're going to make a right turn. Now we can see that there's a small little airfield, right? We can fly over that. Stephen DeSparky, good to see you, man. We just want to fly south and around and get out of the way. That's what we're trying to do, right? So let's have a look here. So we're going to turn right then, heading somewhat south. And we're kind of clear of Nashua at this stage, or you'd be flying the traffic pattern, left-hand turns, that'll get you out of there, yeah? So we could do it another way. We can take off, left turn again, right? And then, you know, leave the pattern. If we go out this way, it should be fairly straightforward, all right? So let's see. So then we'll make a right turn and we'll fly a little bit further down. So what's out here maybe? Let's have a look. We want to stay outside of the class Bravo. That's important. So we have this kind of a lake region here. Look, Shepley Hill and Pepperell, right? So we should see this on our, we'll see that out the window. It's a mad river lake situation going on here. We're going to see that, right? So once we do that, then it's going to be another right turn and we're now heading on course. All right. Remember, we're now traveling west. Therefore, we're going to need even altitude. plus 500 because we're VFR. And if we have a look at these markings here, see this 35, 33, that's letting you know the terrain height in the area and if there's any obstacles there. All right. We need to maintain about 1,000 feet above the ground at all times, sometimes 2,000 feet over a built-up area. Don't worry about that. For this, we're going to be traveling at an altitude of 4,500 feet. All right. 4,500 feet VFR. And we're heading up to Lebanon. Okay. All right. Now, what's the weather doing up in Lebanon? Again, we need to figure out what we're doing because, well, we need to figure out what runways are going to be active up in Lebanon. Yeah. All right. Sky vector up to Lebanon. Winds are 180 at 11 knots. 180 at 11 knots. So it's from the south. All right. So the wind is coming in from the south. Therefore, we're going to land on runway 18. If we're going to land on runway 18, probably means we want to be flying over this neck of the woods, right? We want to head over this way if we can, move this waypoint, because then that means we can join the downwind at what's called a 45-degree angle. Yeah? So I'm expecting Tara's going to say, enter 45 degree on the left down, on the right downwind for runway 18. Or it could be over here, in fact. Actually, it will be over there. We'll probably get enter on the left downwind. Yeah? All right. And again, making sure I'm staying out of everyone's airspace. Super duper. That's enough to get us going for now until we land at Lebanon. Are we happy enough with what we're doing? So we're going to depart out of Nashua, 14, fly straight out. Then we're going to be making some turns to the right and right again. Bearing in mind, stay well out of the Boston Bravo airspace. We're going into the shelf area here. Yeah? So aircraft requesting to transit the Lawrence class Delta airspace. There's Lawrence. But we're not going out that far. We're literally taking off from here. And then we're just going to be, once we leave, pretty much lads, once we leave Nashua's airspace, it's going to be a turn down here. That's what we're doing. All right. Left traffic might make more sense as not to cross over to any potential departures off runway 18. Yeah. It'll probably be left. So we'll fly out over this way. We'll approach this way. And then we'll plan then to turn in at a 45-degree angle for left base. So it'll be something like this, roughly something like this. We'll come in this way into the traffic pattern and then we'll land. All right. The second flight out to an uncontrolled airport, we'll worry about that now in a few moments. All right. So for this, we're going to spend a bit of time now. We're going to get up and running with the flight. We need to talk to ATC. And, well, we need to know what it is we're saying and how we're going to say it. We do need to tell them that it's the WINGS 5. All right. We do know what information that we have. So let's see what happens here. So I'm talking to Tower. I have an aircraft over there. One over here. We're on the GA ramp. If you're unsure, open up your Navigraph charts. It's going to show you exactly where you are and who you need to talk to. So we are at apron. We're on the Foxtrot apron. Right, so let's see what they have to say. 4,500 feet is what we want. All right. Let's see. Nashua Tower, very good afternoon. November 235 Romeo Mike, type Gabriel. Information Delta, like to start our WINGS 5 flight. We're looking for VFR up to Lebanon at 4,500 feet, and we are on the Foxtrot apron.
Server 235 Romeo Mike, Nashua Tower, good day. WINGS VFR 5 approved. Would you like flight following?
Wilco, yes, we would like flight following.
Number 235 Romeo Mike, departure frequency 124.9, squawk 3532, call for taxi.
Departure frequency will be on 124.9er and our squawk 3532, and we will call for taxi, November 235 Romeo Mike. Left traffic, yeah, okay, right, so we have our clearance, we know it's runway 14, we're going to get flight following, and we have a squawk code as well, so we're kind of laughing, right? So 3532 into the box. 3532 into the box. Now remember, lads, you don't need permission to start your engine, so you don't need to say push and start. All right. I just kind of wanted to talk to him before we did anything else. So we're going to start up our aircraft. Let me see, lights. Can't see that now, but it looks like, Jesus. That looks good.
Nashua, good day. Cessna November 112 Foxtrot Alpha VFR to Lebanon, please. We have Delta.
November 112 Foxtrot Alpha, Nashua target E. Would you like flight following?
Affirm, please. Flight following 4,500.
Nice.
Roger, November 112 Foxtrot Alpha, wings VFR 5 approved. Departure vacancy 124.9, squawk 1427.
Departure with 124.9 and squawking 1427. Be advised there's negative on wings VFR 5. We're just here for the fun of it.
Just for the fun. Right, so we're going to put in our initial 4,500 feet. That's going to be our cruise, yeah? And we're going to get fly following. Our squawk is where it needs to be. And, well, let's see what happens. We are pretty much ready to taxi. Let's have a look. What are we going to expect from ATC? So we need to get our arses up to 1-4. So we'll probably get taxi Alpha, hold short, yeah? Let's see what happens. And November 235 Romeo Mike is ready for taxi.
November 235 Romeo Mike, runway 14, taxi via Delta Alpha.
Taxi via Delta Alpha for November 235 Romeo Mike. Alright, so Delta and Alpha. So let me see. Delta's down here, so we're going to turn left and then right.
Nashua Tower, Diamond, November 301 Bravo, at
Right.
General Aviation with information Delta. Request taxi for VFR departure to the south. Flight following at 4,500. Destination is Lebanon for wings VFR 5.
Adam B. Twitch, good to see you.
301 Bravo, Nashua target A, wings VFR 5 approved to departure vacancy 124.9, squawk 1351.
Is the audio okay, lads?
Wings 5 approved. Departure frequency 124.9 and squawk 1351 for November 301 Bravo.
Audio's good? Cool, okay. Now, the point of all this, remember, right? It's VFR, so we can kind of have a bit of fun with this. We're getting flight following. We know our flight route. We know where it is we want to go. ATC are going to be there to give us an extra bit of help, an extra pair of eyes. So, for the first flight, we're going to do a full stop at Lebanon. Don't need to worry too much about things. We have a departure frequency. I learned the last time I'm going to stay with this guy until I'm handed over to that departure frequency. 124.9. 124.9.
And Skyhawk 112 Fox Alpha, ready for taxi.
Skyhawk 112
That's in the box now when I need it.
Foxtrot Alpha, runway 14, taxi via Delta Alpha.
Yeah, they say point
Delta
instead of...
Skyhawk 112 Fox Alpha, thanks.
So they go 133.2 as opposed to 133.2. They're small little changes. They're not going to give out to you, but these are just the changes, yeah? Now, Adam's radio telephony or voice procedure, Adam's a controller, so you can hear Adam on the frequency tonight. Like, that's just going to be
Hello there.
way better. The point I'm trying to make to you is don't get too bogged down with how you're talking. You just want to make sure that you're relaying correct information and you're able to understand.
And Nashua Tower, November 301 Bravo, also ready for taxi.
Jesus!
301 Bravo, runway 14, taxi via Delta Alpha.
There's a moose!
Runway 14, taxi via
Moose,
Delta and
loose,
Alpha.
about this house.
November 301 Bravo.
Easy now. It's called Nashua. Nashua Airport. Okay, so we're approaching the threshold here, or the hold short here for runway 14. We'll go right up to the stop bar. Now at this stage you'll be doing your run-up test, testing your mags, making sure the aircraft is doing exactly what it should be doing, but we're okay. And we can call this guy when we're ready to rock, or he's going to call us, so we want to make sure that we're ready. So all our lights need to come on. That looks good to me. And again, if you're unsure what you're going to be doing, just remember, after departure, we're heading straight out, and then we're going to be heading over to the right-hand side. Alright? So we can give him a shout. And November 235 Romeo Mike, holding short runway 14 at Alpha, ready for departure.
235 Romeo Mike, the wind 1408, gust 15, on course departure is approved, runway 14, clear for takeoff.
On course departure approved, runway 14, clear for takeoff, November 235 Romeo Mike. Okay, check the threshold, left clear, right clear, Squawk. We're now going on the runway. Mode C, or as they call it, altitude mode. We're walking, we're talking, and now we're squawking. And remember, try and make life as easy as we possibly can. Line ourselves up here. We're not going to wait around all day.
Alpha ready in sequence.
Click on
hold
heading.
short runway 14.
Power coming in. Let's go flying. So, takeoff power is set. Airspeed alive. 50. 60. Oopsie daisy.
And Nashua Tower, November 301 Bravo, also ready in sequence.
Positive rate of climb. Gear up. Top of the toe brakes.
301 Bravo, hold short runway 14.
Hold short runway 14 for November 301 Bravo.
Cup of tea and a kick out chunky.
112 Foxtrot Alpha, the wind 1408, gust 15 on course departure, approved runway 14, clear for takeoff.
On course approved, 14 clear for takeoff. 112 Foxtrot Alpha, thanks.
Heading. Is it autopilot? Climb.
November 235, Romeo Mike, to contact departure, we'll see.
Over to departure for November 235 Romeo Mike. Thanks so much. Over to departure. Now, altitude, we want to get up to 4,500 feet. Up you get, you divil. We're going to V-speed this. Found a bug with the airplane. 4,500. Let me see. Departure was 124.9. Departure, good afternoon, November 235 Romeo Mike. Just departing Nashua at 800, climbing to 4,500.
November 235 Romeo Mike, Boston departure, radar contact, proceed on course.
Resume on course, November 235 Romeo Mike. Sweet, okay, so he's got us. We're climbing. Want to climb a little bit more sprintier than that, Murph. Get up the hill. We're going to climb now at 1,000 feet a minute. We're heading up to 4,500 feet. Bring our flaps in. Lights already came off. And we're going to start a right-hand turn here. Remember we said we're going to go for that right-hand turn, yeah? So we've got permission to do that. I mean, we're happy out, right? So let's start this right-hand turn. Set down to 180. Airspeed is coming up nicely. We're climbing nicely. And I'm staying outside of anyone else's friggin' airspace that I don't need to worry about. There's the airport over there. We've already departed. We've now left Nashua behind us. And we're going to give it a wide berth outside of the airspace as we fly in along. 4,500 feet is what we want.
Approach, to 06.
And again, you're kind of training your ears. Always pick a call sign that you're very comfortable and you're familiar with.
Aircraft calling Boston, that was broken, say again.
Alrighty. So, for example,
Manchester approach with the 06. I have a question.
If you had a call sign you're not familiar with,
Boston approach, go ahead.
you won't know when they call you. You know what I mean?
Boston approach with the 06. We're going to be monitoring you doing maneuvers at 3,000 feet. We're 26
there's the golf course.
miles north
Yeah,
of Boston
there's the river.
Regional.
So here's our visual reference point already. So this is going to be another right turn coming in. Oh, we'll spin around to the right.
206, you're 6 miles north of Manchester or Boston Logan?
So we can kind of see this thing
I'm
come together.
27 miles north of Manchester, Boston.
Now the absolute
regional.
cheat sheet here is, lads, a moving map.
November 206,
with navigation.
Roger, would you like flight following to a specific destination?
This is friggin' awesome, especially when they brought VFR capabilities
Negative,
into
I'm
this.
just going to do maneuvers
So I can
around
kind
here
of
at
cheat
3,000
and follow
feet
this
and
route
then
as
come
best I
back.
can. But as a pilot, you know, you got to train
Red
yourself to be
206,
looking
Roger, thanks
outside
for
the
the
window. So how are we looking?
Manchester, good evening. Cessna November 112 Foxtrot Alpha, passing 1,900 feet.
Number 1.
It's a big 10-4, good buddy.
Boston departure, radar contact.
News fan, thank you very much indeed. A gifted tier 1 sub gone over to Lenny. Thank you very much. Now usually you would say aircraft type in the States. Adam is saying Cessna, then his call sign. I don't think they're going to know what Gabrielle is. It's not a very popular airplane yet. These are quite new. So you could say Gabriel, but a lot of controllers will be like, what the hell is Gabriel? You know what I mean? So yeah, that's kind of the idea. Now remember we said 4,500 feet.
Manchester, hello, November 301 Bravo, passing 2,000 feet.
Number 301 Bravo, Boston departure, radar contact, welcome.
There we go. Now in the States, you don't have to say feet. It's just, the less you can say, the better. But it doesn't make any sense. But the reason being is they want to be super efficient when it comes to radio communication, because in America, it's so much busier. As in so much busier. You know what I mean? Now, lads, while we're here, a massive shout out has to go to the Boston Virtual ARTC, because they're looking after us. They're providing ATC for us and for you guys to learn. So a massive thank you for them. Considering there is a time difference, these guys are like just like, what's it, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock? Terribly kind of them. Yeah, but don't worry, Nod, you know, like these things, no one's going to give out to you. No one's going to give out to you for saying feet. It's just, they're like the little habits, you know, with you and, you know what I mean? This kind of stuff, all right? So we try not to worry about it too much, lads. So we're going to resume on course. We're still heading this direction on a heading of about 261 degrees. We're going to be turning right shortly, and then we're going to be rambling on then up to Lebanon. That's going to be our first stop of the night. It's only about 60 odd miles, but it's going to, well, it shouldn't take us too long. Our speed is starting to creep up now nicely. We've reached our cruise altitude. So yeah, I mean, we don't need to tell ATC much. We're free to fly around, go where it is we want to go. And this is the difference between VFR and our IFR. Now, there are clouds ahead of me. We're going up this way, so I do have a bit more space, but that's a lot of cloud. That's this overcast conditions. We don't want to fly anywhere near that. That's going to ruin our day, right? But yeah, because you're VFR, this is the sort of freedom that you have. If we are IFR, we have to go waypoint to waypoint to waypoint to waypoint, and we can't miss them, otherwise they give out to us for not following a flight plan, yeah? Next of all, when it comes to our flight plan, well, you're VFR, you don't have to file a flight plan. You don't have to. Now, it's advised that you do, right? It's always advised that you do file a flight plan, right? So if you're unsure, if they turn around and say, hey, Murph, we need a flight plan from you. Okay. Well, let's do them quickly, right? This is how I do them if I need to do them, right? So let's go ahead and bring up SimBrief real quick. So we're going to say SimBrief. We're departing out of KASH, and we're flying to KASH. That's our flight plan. Aircraft type, Gabriel, it's not going to have it. We're going to pop it in as a Cessna 172. We're going to change this now, right? Actually, run it as is. Just send this, right? So, yeah. Generate this flight. Have a look at this. We're going to generate this flight, but then we're going to change things around completely. Generate this flight, and now we're going to file it on a network. So see here, flight plan download, no, ATC flight plan. We want to put this on the network. So it says it here, pre-file on the network, yes, over to VATSIM. So this is going to log us into VATSIM. Now check out what we're going to put in here, because this is our VFR flight plan. So sign me in there now. We're looking okay. We haven't crashed yet. So we're going to say November 235. We're not IFR, we're VFR. We are in a Gabrielle, so that's GABR. Equipment is bang on the money. KASH is our departure. Altitude is 4,500. Airspeed is going to be 140 knots. Our arrival is KASH. Alternate, I don't need it. Time en route is going to be about 1 hour and 30. We fuel for about 4 hours, and then we put in the rest of our flight plan. So we know we're going to be direct, or pretty close to KLEB. After KLEB, we're going to go to KCON. They're the two airports we're going to, all right? Remarks, we're going to put in here, VFR, Wings Flight number 5. File that plan. Call sign in use. Be sure station on the ground, try again. Balls. That's probably because I'm connected to the network already. Can I update a flight plan?
And approach Brickyard 1132 for push.
Brickyard 1132 onto November's approved facing east.
Let's see what this does.
Sorry, push approved face east, Brickyard 1132.
Okay, following our little planation here, right turn. Are we aware that ATC doesn't see our flight plan? No, it shouldn't matter. If they need a flight plan on VATSIM, they're going to tell you, we can't see your flight plan. But because we're VFR, strictly speaking, we don't need a flight plan. All right? Regarding cloud clearance, how can you comply with the 1,000 foot above and 500 below when there are multiple cloud layers that are closer together? So basically you're looking for cloud types. If it's overcast, they're the ones you kind of dodge. A single cloud, you're not going to worry about a single cloud. It's only if you're moving into, you know, scattered, broken, or not even scattered, but broken or overcast. They're the main ones we need to watch out. You know what I mean? Now, I don't think I can edit this on the fly. That's a good question. So when we land, we'll disconnect them or reconnect, and then our flight plan will be there. All right? Anyway, all is well in the realm. We're facing the right direction. Our airspeed is looking good. At 4,500 feet, we have plenty of clearance. And see these mountains here? Like 2,500 feet or even 3,000 feet. Just, if you're heading west, keep your altitude even, plus 500. If you're heading east, keep your altitudes in the odd numbers, plus 500 feet for VFR. All right? So if ATC don't see your flight plan, ATC controllers will be able to click on your flight number or your call sign and say, oh, that's what this guy is doing. VFR, they tend not to. They tend not to because VFR, well, they don't really have that level of flight plans. In the real world, you have the option to use or not to use a flight plan. I always recommend filing a flight plan. It makes logical sense. If you file a flight plan with the flight authorities, if you don't show up at an airport when you say you were supposed to, well, they're going to start looking at you. They're going to start looking for you, you know? Giant Pickle says, if you don't have any coverage, some like to file to stuff like VATSIM radar. It shows your plan's destination. Yeah, you know, you can do that for sure. We can edit your flight plan specific to us so we can see it. When you're VFR, no need to file a flight plan. We make our own. Yeah, 100%. 100%. Like, it's better to have one, right? But if you're VFR, you don't need one. If I were you, I would just use it. Now, we're talking about modern, fancy, fandangle stuff in an aircraft, yeah? Well, this is our ADS-B we can see, yeah? And this is going to show us traffic. So here's a plane behind me, plus, is that 200 or 2,000? There's another aircraft, 6 nautical mile range, at my 1 o'clock, same altitude. I can't see him visually, but there is someone else out there. Now, because we're in a flight simulator, and this is where the advantages of the stuff really start helping us, lads. This is where you can leverage all these tools to try and help you out, right? Well, let's have a look. Let's go to our vatsim-radar.com. This is an awesome website. LOD issue, probably. So I can see November 112 Foxtrot Alpha. We know that's Adam, so that's Adam. Now let's get an idea. He's at 4,500 feet. He's 126 ground speed. I'm at 4,500 feet. I'm at 160 ground speed. Naughty Gnome is behind me, 4,500 feet, 164 knots ground speed. We're closing in on Adam. We need to be careful. ATC will probably start talking to us.
And Brickyard 1132 taxi.
So he's monitoring this.
Brickyard 1132. Prepare yourself, runway 17, taxi via Golf, Delta, Alpha, Bravo, Hotel, and Kilo. Cross runway 17 on Bravo, hold short, runway 24 on Kilo.
Now he's around 7 or 8 miles out. Tilly Flyer, thank you very much.
Oh my god, that's right. 17, Golf, Delta. You know what, let me just write it down. I thought it was going to be shorter, to be honest. Yeah, I get it one more time.
Always write it down.
Brickyard 1132, runway 17, taxi via Golf, Delta, Alpha, Bravo, Hotel, and Kilo. Cross runway 17 on Bravo.
The fun part of US VFR when he's given traffic information during flight following. Oh yeah.
Alright, runway 17 taxi at Golf Delta,
now we're
Bravo,
helping
Kilo,
out.
Charlie.
What's not that we're helping out?
Cross 17.
We're helping us out. We're also going to be helping out ATC. We know
this
now.
is all messed up. Cross 17 at Kilo, hold short to 27
there's
at
a
Kilo,
potential.
Brickyard 1132. This isn't my finest day.
Tell you what, Brickyard 1132. Taxi to runway 17 via November, Golf, and Echo. Enter runway 17 Echo, backtrack, line up, report ready for departure.
That's awesome. That controller is helping that pilot out, which is great, yeah?
Oh, you know it's bad when that happens. Alright, November, Golf, Alpha, backtrack 17, Brickyard 132.
That's great to hear. He's helping him out. The point I'm making is, lads, we've identified a potential conflict, so we're going to help ourselves and ATC. We're just going to help them out. Because we know there's a potential conflict here. We're at the same altitude. Now, ATC could turn around and, you know, they could ask Adam to descend. They can ask me to descend. They could tell me to do a 360. Unlikely, because Naughty Gnome is behind me at probably my 7, 8 o'clock. 2 miles. He's a lot closer to me. So the chances are they'll probably get Adam to turn right a bit, and then I can ramble up in. You know what I mean? ATC Jim, welcome aboard. Clem is here. Good to see you. Yeah, so this is the first part of this flight, Clem. So this is to a towered, controlled airport up in Lebanon. And then we're going to head down to Concord. So far, so good. Our ADSB is doing what it should be doing. We're going to stay clear out of Adam's way. We will get an alert if he starts drifting in towards us. So he is starting to drift in. This is a 6 nautical mile range. He's on our map. Patrick, thank you for the bits. What a legend, man. But we get the idea. Controller sped it up too much, to be fair, for the pilot. It can happen, but here's the thing. So what happened, the first thing that happened, the pilot didn't have something to write down the information on. And it's when you start writing it down, a lot of this becomes quite repetitive. You're going to get the runway, you're going to get the taxi, you're going to get you... Remember the whole clearance for craft, right? But yeah, if the controller is saying things too fast, there's absolutely no problem whatsoever you requesting the controller, please repeat slowly. There's nothing wrong with that. Now, if you're taking the Dennis Hickey out of him and he's just busy and you're like in your little Cessna and they're trying to deal with 100 other airliners, well, you know, he's going to say, listen, go away for a while, right? But there's absolutely nothing wrong. Never say okay or read back an instruction unless you absolutely understand it. There's no points for sounding like you got it right. You got to get it right. And controllers will be quite okay to say, listen, you don't have it, it's okay. This is what we want you to do. And that's exactly what that controller did. He said, look, I tell you what, let's do it this way. All right? That is of massive importance. Now, that little course correction I did, I came down kind of 2-3 degrees on my left side. I know I'm moving faster than Adam, so we're actually going to pass Adam now shortly. He's about 4 miles somewhere out here. I don't know why I can't see him. It is an LOD issue for sure. Must be. I don't know why I can't see him. Is there settings up here? Model matching, performance. No, I can't do anything. I can't do anything inside vPilot. I don't think. Do not display aircraft beyond 100 miles. Maximum aircraft, like it's full tilt. You know what I mean? So yeah, I don't know what the story is. VFR separation in Class Echo, don't trade paint, right? What's the next flight to see if there's any scenery in 2020? Kleb to where? Kleb to KCON. There's no scenery, I don't think. You don't need it though. I mean, it's probably grand as is. Now, I can see that we also have a tower on in Leb, and there's also an ATIS. So let's jump over and get the ATIS real quick. So the ATIS is going to be on 118650. Let's have a listen. 118650.
Temperature 17, dew point -4, altimeter 3008. ILS runway 18 approach induced, landing in departing runway 18. Advise on initial contact. You have ATIS information, Lima.
Information Lima for Lebanon.
Lebanon Tower, ATIS information, Lima, 19530. Wind 190.11, visibility.
Alright. Neither fields are impressive. No, they're very basic. But look, it's you get the basics right. The scenery here is actually pretty nice. I love flying this neck of the woods, lads. This is beautiful. I mean, I don't know these areas enough. It's actually been really nice getting to fly around and discover this whole region. Like I'm adding places now to the bucket list that I want to visit because it looks absolutely gorgeous out here. Some beautiful regions, beautiful airports, beautiful mountains, lakes, rivers. It's stunning scenery. Maybe not as dramatic as what you'd expect in your Montanas or, you know, Idaho and whatever else, but it's still beautiful. Now we can see there's a whole wall of weather ahead of us. At the moment we're quite okay. Runway 18 is active. We were kind of half planning that when we were looking at our flight. So we're flying this direction and then we're going to expect to enter the pattern at a 45-degree angle for the left downwind runway 18. Now you might be saying, Murph, Jesus, how do you know all of this? Well, listen lads, I've said to you before, if I can figure this out, well you can. The information is all here for us on the Wings page, yeah? And when they talk about how do you join the pattern? Well, there's many ways in which we can do it. The 45-degree angle tends to be the safest. See here, this is your traffic pattern. We've done this in our first lesson. We're going to enter at a 45-degree angle. We're going to fly on the left downwind for runway 18. That's exactly what we're going to do. Or at least, that's exactly what we're planning. ATC are active. They could give us something very different. You know what I mean? But all that's available on the Wings course information. Like, they really do go into a lot of detail. It's absolutely brilliant. Now, let's have a look. 4 nautical miles. Our speed is good. Adam is now kind of motoring on there a little bit. He's over here somewhere. I think I see him. Now, here's the thing, and it's true in flight sim as what it is in real life. It would be easier to spot Adam at nighttime because you'll see his lights from miles away. From miles away. Nighttime.
Hey, Brickyard 1132, ready to go.
Do you know, you'll just spot him miles off.
Brickyard 1132, wind 220 at 9, runway 17, clear for takeoff.
17, clear for takeoff, Brickyard 1132.
So again, let's have a little look over here. There's Adam. He's doing 130 ground. I'm doing 160. I'm doing 30 knots quicker than him. So I'm going to pass him. So he needs to how did he jump ahead of me? Well, I took a bit of a left turn to clear him. So we're all heading straight to the same area. I should get there first. That means Adam will have to lift the handbrake a little bit, or he might get there first. You know? Larry, I think that payware for Lebanon is shite. It's from that M Scenery crowd or FSX Scenery. I just wouldn't waste your money, man.
5 Romeo Mike, traffic's at your 3 o'clock for 3.5 miles, same altitude and same direction. Other than that, I see no traffic en route to Lebanon. You're leaving my airspace. Radar services terminated. Keep the code changed to advisory approved.
Roger, we have the traffic at our 3 o'clock and can confirm over to Unicom on 122.8. We're going to keep that squawk for the transition for 5 Romeo Mike. Right, so he's letting go of us. 122.8. And then we're going to be talking to the tower. So at the moment, we don't need to talk to that tower yet. We're going to keep that code in play. I'll pull left a bit. Oh, wait, now. I would pull left a bit to enter a left downwind, but I might crash into Nome, so I'll probably slow down. All right, okay. Gulfstream, this is the Gabrielle from Flying Fries. Really nice. Really nice. So the ATC controller, that's approach. He's like, look, there's no more traffic between you and that airport. Frequency change approved. We'll talk to you some other day. Now, he did tell me to keep the code for the flight, right? So I'm now gone on to Unicom. It's not CTAF, it's Unicom. Unicom is the standard 122.8 for whatchamacallit? For VATSIM, right? Scott was saying, normally the tower wouldn't tell you to enter a 45. No, they may not. So I'm just planning that myself. I know entering a pattern at a 45-degree angle, that is the safest entry into the pattern. Just is, right? Now, we're flying along here at 4,500 feet. We need to start planning for our descent. We need to keep an eye on that traffic. We did get a report of it. Adam has now dropped back a little bit. He's now back here somewhere. And again, on this aircraft, I can use ADS-B. But this ADS-B, this is available with anything with a GTN 5 or your GNS 530 has this, right? So if you want to calculate your descent, a couple of things. You're going to measure your distance, your speed, and the weather, right? So if we're going to say, okay, listen, in how many minutes at this speed? So I'm flying at 147. That's awkward. So drop it to say 140. So that means that's knots. So I'm going to travel at 140 knots per hour. If the distance is 147 knots, I'm laughing. It's an hour's flight, right? But it's not. The distance I am at to the airport, it's not far. We can use our avionics here to tease it out, or we can look at the map, get an idea. We are about 20 miles out. About 20 miles out. So if we're traveling at about 140 knots in, well, we want to descend somewhere in the next 2 to 3 minutes. And that's exactly what we're going to do, yeah? So we'll give the tower a shout. We can wait till we're minimum 5 miles out, but we'll probably give him 10 miles. Again, there's additional information on the airport charts if you want to go in, and that's what you really need to do in your own time. When you're flight planning, I fairly sped things up here tonight, but when you're planning your flight, spend a lot of time looking at all of these charts. More charts, right? Keep reading up on it, because that's going to give you the vital information that you need, yeah? So we have these lakes to fly over. Again, more visual reference points. We can also see the road heading in here now as well. So the pattern altitude, this is going to be important. The pattern altitude is 1,000 feet above ground level. Okay. Therefore, we need to figure out, well, what is the airport elevation? Because we need to be 1,000 feet above that. The airport elevation at Lebanon is 603 feet. Therefore, if we want to be in the pattern, we got to be hanging around 1,600 feet. Does that make sense? So we're going to put in 1,600 feet. Now, we also have the ATIS information. It's actually 3,008 on the barrow. So we'll go 3008. What's different in the US, that transition level never changes until you get above flight level 180. That makes sense? So, you know, in Europe, it's like transition level, right? Change. Oh, I've passed 600 or 6,000 feet, right? Let's go to 122, or let's go to 29.92 or 1,014. In America, it's all the one under 18,000 feet. Then when you go above 18,000, sorry, it's all different under 18,000 feet. It's only when you go above 18,000 feet, you need to change it to standard barrow. All right? Anyway, we're VFR. We're not allowed into the class Alpha airspace, which goes from flight level 180 to 600. We're not allowed in there. All right? That'll change in another number of years, because SpaceX and all these other fancy aircraft will be able to fly at like 75,000 feet and so on. Yeah. But anyway, we keep things simple. Indeed we do. Indeed we do. Now we're on Unicom, so we can probably give a shout on this. Lebanon traffic, November 235 Romeo Mike is 15 miles to the southeast of Lebanon. We're 4,500 feet and we're planning a full stop. And that's only letting other aircraft know who are now on the Unicom channel to say, all right, this guy's ahead of us. He wants to land at that airport. Now, the lads know what I'm doing because we're all flying together.
Lebanon traffic, November 112, right. Foxtrot Alpha, descending through 4,000 for 2,500, 6 miles south of the field.
Now, Adam is telling us what the crack is. Hey, he can actually start descending now. It's about time we descend, actually. Hammer Nails, good to see you. And Lebanon traffic, November 235 Romeo Mike, 13 miles in the field. We are now descending from 4,500 down to 1,600. Down we go, you big Egypt. Vertical speed, drop the nose. Now watch our power as we come down here. I do want to stay ahead of Adam, but we're now descending, alright? Robert Harrison, welcome in. Hammer Nails, correct and right, we're in New Hampshire. Can I join you in the heli or not? Of course you can, Clem. No worries. You're on VATSIM, mate. Join in. No restrictions. Now we're sending here like an absolute mad lad. Right, time to talk to the tower. And watch the mountains here as well, Murph. Let's go altitude mode. Let's hold. Our speed is fairly lively. Lebanon Tower, November 235 Romeo Mike, is 10 miles to the southeast, inbound for a full stop landing. We have information Lima on board.
The 5 Romeo Mike, still with Boston approach, sir.
Balls! Press the wrong button. Say nothing, Merv. Just say nothing. 125950. Balls. 125950.
Tower 249 Yankee Banter.
Number 245 Yankee, runway 18, clear for the option.
18, clear for the option, 248.
Lebanon Tower, November 235 Romeo Mike, is 7 miles southeast of the field, inbound for a full stop landing, and we have information Lima.
November 235 Romeo Mike, Lebanon Tower, roger, report 3 miles.
Report 3 miles, November 235 Romeo Mike. And I was talking to Boston because I'm an agent. Jesus, I could have said anything, you know. Your man's voice was lovely. You're still with Boston. Ah! Jesus. Right, it's all right, lads. It's all right. What's your speed now, Murphy? Easy now, Jemima. We're going to head in this way now. Find the airport, and then we're going to enter the old right-hand turn, and all will be well in the round. Right?
Can I get a refund?
No, shag off. Flip the switch and try again. Yeah. Mr. Cornbolo, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Jesus.
Listen, lads, I do the stupid crap so you don't have to, right? Yeah, well, at least I knew to change the frequency, unlike Murphy and his big sexy shirt. Yeah! Jesus.
So look at this big Aegis.
Murphy later screamed himself to sleep. Right, our speed is good. We're still a little bit high, but I don't really mind. He told us 3 miles, so we're going to give him a shout with 3 miles. We're heading in what should be a 45-degree angle, which it will be. We'll ramble in. Now, how's my old little ADSB doing? Traffic. Are 6 miles out? We're okay. And the small hands, and the grey hairs. Lieutenant Bob. Always funny when he makes a mistake. And shut up, Patrick. Me beautiful eyebrows.
They've done studies, you know. 60% of the time, it works.
Every time.
Every time.
Right, we're 5 miles out. How do I know if we're 5 miles out? If you look at the chart, do you know the ring that goes around the airport? That's 5 miles, yeah? Now the wind is making an absolute tool out of us. Jesus, we've traffic all over the shop here, look.
Lebanon traffic, good evening. Cessna November 112 Foxtrot Alpha, 7 miles south of the field, inbound full stop.
November 112 Foxtrot Alpha, Lebanon Tower, report 3 miles.
We'll report 3 miles, and we have Lima 112 Fox Alpha.
Right.
Oh, jeez.
Tower 245 Yankee midfield.
Number 2459 Yankee, runway 18, clear for the option.
18, clear for the option, 2458.
Easy now. There's the airport. It's about 3 miles. It's closer to 4, but should we give them the shout? And November 235 Romeo Mike, 3 miles.
November 235 Romeo Mike, enter left down runway 18, traffic here following, say Pilatus on the left base.
Enter on the left down, and we'll keep an eye out for the traffic for November 235 Romeo Mike. Alright, down we go. I can see them on my ADSB. He's over there, right?
And Lebanon traffic. November 301 Bravo is 6 miles to the east for a full stop landing.
November 301 Bravo, Lebanon Tower, roger. Report 3 miles.
There's the traffic.
Both east of the field.
Well, 3 miles east of the tower.
And November 235 Romeo Mike, we have the traffic.
Number 235 Romeo Mike, wind is now 220 at 10, runway 18, cleared for the option.
Roger, clear for the option for runway 18, November 235 Romeo Mike. Alright, down to pattern altitude, 1,600 feet, Murph. We're looking good, speed is good. That Pilatus is down, let him clear it. Jesus, this place is
November
nice.
112 Fox Alpha, 3 miles.
Alright, watch your speed. First notch of flaps. Wait for that runway to be about 45 degrees over our shoulder. Get ourselves straightened up here. Watch your speed, Murph. Easy now. Murphy's always up against a tough crowd, right?
That's okay. It is Mike's current at Lebanon altimeter 3007. November 2 Foxtrot Alpha, into the left down, runway 18.
Enter left downwind, runway 18, 2 Fox off.
Alright, autopilot off. Let's start our turn. Lower the legs.
Tower 2 Papa Yankee, wind the left cross the weight of the traffic and the left downwind is...
November 590 Yankee, roger. Follow the Skyhawk and extend the downwind.
Alright, we'll follow the Skyhawk, extend the downwind 2 Papa Yankee.
Easy now.
Number 2 Foxtrot Alpha traffic are following a single prompt on final for my 18.
See, they don't know the Gabrielle.
Keep an eye out for the traffic, 2 Fox Alpha.
Tell him it's a Gabrielle or a Gabriel. Is it a Gabriel or a Gabriel? I don't fucking know.
There's additional traffic east of the field to Diamond.
Loud noises!
November 301 Bravo, 3 miles.
Report that traffic in sight.
Yeah, we're looking for the Diamond 245 Papa Yankee.
Easy now.
And Tower 2 Papa Yankee with the traffic in sight.
590 Yankee, roger, and plan to follow the Diamond and the downwind.
Roger, we'll follow the downwind, correction, the Diamond is the downwind, that will extend our base, you'll call, correction, extend our downwind, you'll call a base 2 Papa Yankee.
Lebanon Tower, State Police 1.
I wasn't using autopilot one, well, I was one.
We're 8 to the south, inbound low approach.
I was, yeah, to shocking. But sure, listen, I'm trying to multitask. And by multitask, I mean looking this good wearing this shirt.
State Police 1, roger, and report
Jesus,
3
don't
miles
bin it.
east of the field.
Don't bin it!
3 miles east of the field, State Police 1.
Jesus, lads, I nearly binned it.
Lebanon traffic, Lebanon Tower, November 301 Bravo is 3 miles.
He's now.
November 301 Bravo, Lebanon Tower, into the left downwind from a 18. Traffic are following the Skyhawk and turning base.
Easy now, Jemima. Get in there now. Jesus, we're never going to make that exit.
Into left downwind and traffic in sight for November 301 Bravo.
We'll get the next one. Well, jeez, it's a crosswind. Go down, you divil, you. Onto the centre line. Oh, we will make that exit. Nice. Flaps in. Easy now. And we're in. And November 235 Romeo Mike is clear of the active. We've taxied off over to Alpha, looking for a taxi to the parking.
November 5 Romeo Mike is Boston.
Right now, why the hell did that change? Look at the aircraft. 5 Romeo Mike, sorry, issue with the radio. We are clear of the active on Alpha, looking for taxi to parking.
5 Romeo Mike, roger, taxi straight into the west ramp.
Taxi to the west ramp, 5 Romeo Mike. Did you see that? How did that happen? Did I
112
bounce
Fox
off
Alpha,
it?
turning finals, runway 18.
Jesus.
2 Foxtrot Alpha, wind 22010, runway 18, cleared to land.
Clear land, 112 Fox Alpha, thanks.
Anyone know what the radio frequency changed?
State Police 1, 3 miles east.
State Police 1, Lebanon Tower, roger, into the left downwind for runway 18, traffic are following to PC 12, about a mile north.
Interesting.
Left downwind
All
for
right,
18,
brakes
looking
on.
for the BC 12, State Police 1.
I tell you, Boston approach is going to
November
friggin' love
301
me.
turning base.
301 Bravo, Lebanon Tower, roger, give him square up and turn final.
Oh, Jesus. Mags off. Turn off the machine. User error, but sure, I didn't press anything. That was weird, wasn't it? Right, we'll give that a break for a minute and review our flight. That was so freaking odd, wasn't it? Right. So 18, the boys coming in. Did Adam get in yet? No. Jesus, there's another moose on the runway. Do we have traffic? Yep. There he be. You'd be having to do wings again. Yeah. I don't know. Very strange. I need to check that plane because I noticed when you engage the auto... Where's Steiny? Steiny! I have some feedback on the plane. When you hit alt mode, Sorry, when you hit vertical, or not vertical speed, when you hit
Hello there.
like IAS mode, it resets your Jesus, he's getting bashed around at the I told you it's windy. When you hit IAS mode on that autopilot, it resets your selected altitude, right? And Jesus. Fix it, touchdown. Well, he's down anyway. That's the main thing. He made it. Yeah, I don't know. That's kind of... I need to be careful there now. It's all feedback I need to give to the gadget, but like, you know what I mean? Right, flight plan. Let us disconnect briefly from the network and go back to our flight plan, because she wasn't doing it. There she goes. And we'll connect again. That's what you get for using autopilot in the pattern. Yeah, I don't know, lads. Very strange. Right, so put on the battery here again. Not the mags. Put on your battery. And avionics are on. Because I need to figure out two things. Why in the name of Jesus did my radio change frequency? 124 900, which is approach. 125950. 125950 is tower. Yeah, I don't know why that happened. That hurt. That's okay, Adam. You don't worry about it. Right, lads. So a quick kind of recheck on what we've done, right? So the first part of our flight, we have flown from Nashua, all right?
Southern Yankee, wind 220, 10, 18,
Part of 14 came all the way around, and then we flew straight up. Now that's the longest leg of the flight done, right? And that was up to Lebanon. So we entered this way. We entered in roughly 45-degree angle. It was the left downwind, and then we went on.
And November 301 Bravo, clear the runway.
Maintenance would like a word.
301 Bravo, Roger. And are you
Patrick, you take care.
taxiing to parking, or are you taxiing back home?
Taxiing to parking just to set up for the next leg, please.
301 Bravo, straight into the ramp.
Straight into the ramp for November 301 Bravo.
So our next
please
flight...
one, wind 22010, runway 18, cleared low approach. Clear low approach, 18, stay please.
We're going to edit this flight plan because we're now leaving Caleb. Why can't we edit this? Caleb. Right. So we're going to be blasting off out of runway 18 at Caleb, at Lebanon, right? So when we depart, we want to be kind of making tracks to turn right. So yeah, we're just going to resume own navigation down this neck of the woods. And then it's going to be an arrival into Concord, and we're expecting no ATC there. All right. Now, we don't necessarily need flight following here. We might get a departure frequency and we can ask for flight following, which we probably will do that just for the sheer crack of it. So we're going to fly down. Our landing options down at Concord, probably 17, but let's just double check what the winds are doing down there, lads, right? Come here to me now. So, in you go. So we're now going to head down towards Concord. Weather situation, winds are 110 at 10, gusting 18. 110 at 10. So the winds are 110. So they're coming in over this neck of the woods. Now, might we get runway 12? We might. Let's go in and have a look at the airport itself. So let's go back here and let's have a look at Concord. Let's open the airport, have a look at the charts, and have a look at this.
November 245, Delta Yankee is left middle down runway 18.
So the National Guard use this area. I'd say we're going to go for
November 5, Delta
runway
Yankee,
12.
wind 22010, runway 18, clear for the option.
18, clear for the option, 245, Delta Yankee.
So if we go for runway 12, 3,200 feet, I mean, that's more than enough for this aircraft. 17 is probably the safer approach in relation to the distance, but it's a bit squally with the wind, so we're going to plan to land on 12 and ideally get off at Bravo 2, Bravo, taxi back, and then we can get over here to Alpha. All right? All right, that makes sense to me. Anything else on the chart? Runway climb heading before proceeding on course. So there's obstacles here we need to be careful of. But yeah.
Tower State Police 1, our departing pattern will remain overhead.
So Concord.
State Police 1, roger for exchange.
State Police 1.
Okay, so come back up to where we are. So we're over at the west ramp. So it's probably going to be a 1-8 departure again. So let's see what happens. Now let's double check the ATIS while we're here. ATIS is 118650. 118650. Transfer.
Lebanon Tower, ATIS information up Mike 2053 Zulu. With 22010, visibility 10. Ceiling 4,900 overcast.
That's a big 10-4, good buddy.
2.-4.
Squawk 1200.
3007.
Thank you very much.
Runway 18 approaching use, landing departing runway 18 to advise on initial contact. You have ATIS information now, Mike.
Mike is active and it's runway 18.
Lebanon Tower, ATIS information up Mike 2053 Zulu. With 22010, visibility 10.
Okay. 125950. This is our dude that we need to talk to. So we're going to look once again for that. So we can start her up here. Let me see. So we're going to go alternator, mags, fuel pump is on. Prop full. Mixture. Quick look around. There's an aircraft coming in. All right, let's start the bell. It is indeed, Justin. It is indeed. Right, so at this stage, we're probably going to be squawking VFR. But let's see what the tower says. And Lebanon Tower, November 235 Romeo Mike. Information, Mike. VFR over to Concord 4,500. That was all wrong.
November 235 Romeo Mike, Lebanon Tower, thanks for Mike. Romeo 18 taxi via Alpha Bravo 2 Bravo, cross runway 7.
Taxi for runway 18, Alpha Bravo 2 Bravo, hold short or cross runway 7 for November 235 Romeo Mike.
Yankee, we're going to runway 18. We'd like to request taxi about to active.
I made the balls of that. It should be 5,500 feet.
And runway 18 taxi via Alpha Bravo 2 Bravo, cross runway 7.
So why we're going 5,500 feet?
Bravo to runway 18.
Because we're now eastbound, yeah?
7 November 24598.
And Lebanon Tower, November 301 Bravo, looking for clearance to the active for a departure out to the southeast to Concord for WINGS VFR Flight 5.
November 301 Bravo, Romeo 18, follow Gabriel out of the ramp via Alpha,
Sweet.
Bravo 2,
Hey,
Bravo, cross runway 7.
Taxi up to the active, follow Gabriel on my right and go by Alpha Bravo 2 Bravo, cross runway 7 for November 301 Bravo.
Tower 245 Yankee, we're going to need the second A chance so we can pull into the ramp here. We'll call you back.
5 Yankee, approves this question.
Take it.
Okay.
Tower, November 112 Foxtrot Alpha, back with you. Information, Mike, taxi to runway 18 for VFR departure to the southeast, 3,500.
Yeah, okay, so I
November 2 Foxtrot Alpha,
I gave myself a bit of a brain fart.
taxi via Alpha, Bravo 2, Bravo, cross runway 7.
We're all
Runway
okay
18 Alpha Bravo 2 Bravo, crossing runway 7, 112 Fox Alpha, thank you.
Alright. Crossing the runway, light them up. What's this guy doing? I think we're okay to go ahead of him. Man, that cloud's starting to come in, isn't it? Jesus, there'll be wake turbulence out of that, I can tell you.
Lebanon Tower, good evening, helicopter Delta Hotel Yankee Papa Echo requesting VFR departure to the south 3005
I wonder when we get away with 3,500. We shall see. Looks like the weather is on its way.
Delta Hotel Yankee Papa Echo Lebanon Tower, advise you latest Mike, altimeter 3007. We have Mike and coded for the QNH 3007 for Delta Hotel Yankee Papa Echo. That's number 5, runway Mike. Straight out departure approved, wind 22010, runway 18, clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff, straight out departure approved, November 235, runway Mike. Alright, he wasn't hanging around there.
Delta Hotel Yankee Papa Echo, roger. And do you want ramp departure or are you looking to depart on the runway or taxiway?
Left is clear. Right, it's clear.
We will take taxiway departure for Delta Papa Echo.
Alright. Walking, talking, very soon to be
Delta
spoken.
Hotel Yankee Papa Echo,
Let's go
roger. Taxi to taxi Bravo at
Easy
Delta
now.
and advise ready for departure.
Watch the wind.
Taxi Bravo to Delta and advise ready for departure. Delta Hotel Yankee Papa Echo.
Easy now, positive rate of climb. Gear up. Jeez, I got squally here, didn't it? 14
Lebanon
knots.
Tower, November 245, and a Yankee with PC-12 back VFR flight following to Concord.
Two 459er Yankee. Roger, for flight phone we can try 124.9er when you get in the air. Whatever, my 18 taxi at Bravo.
118 via Bravo 245 Yankee.
Yeah, we gotta watch those clouds. Although we are turning left, it's looking more favourable.
0301 Bravo. On course departures approved, runway 18 cleared for takeoff, wind 22010.
November 301 Bravo, clear for takeoff, runway 18.
Alright, we're looking good. Let's go 3,500 feet first and let's see what happens, right? We'll probably get a shout to talk to
November 2 Foxtrot Alpha, runway 18 landed by.
Landed by 18, 2 Fox Alpha.
Oh, it's getting cloudy. Alright, we're pretty much bang on course here, and let's see what happens. So we're climbing up to 3,500 feet. We need separation of the ground.
Mike, frequency change approved today.
Frequency change approved, 5 runway Mike, thanks for your service. Right, let's just talk to Boston once again. I'm his favourite customer. Because we're going to request flight following.
PC-12 shut up on my route 18 sequence.
So we have to ask him. Boston approach, November 235 Romeo Mike, VFR request.
November 235 Romeo Mike, Boston, say request.
5 Romeo Mike just departed Lebanon Airport. We're VFR down to Concord for the Wings 5. We're looking for a flight following 3,500.
November 235 Romeo Mike, squawk 0017 ident.
0017 and ident for 5 Romeo Mike. There's your flash. Alright, let's see what happens now. So there's 3,500 feet. I think we're okay at 3,500 feet.
Number 5 Romeo Mike, radar contact 5 miles southeast of Lebanon.
Right. Alright. Let us head on out. So we're getting flight following. if the option is there for flight following, lads, I just recommend you get it. He's not going to be giving out to me or shouting at me. I'm flying under VFR rules. I'm about 2,000 or 3,000 feet away. Well, I'm 2,000 feet away from this. I'm a little bit close to that, but you can see where we're heading. It's starting to brighten up a bit. All right. I'm at 3,500 feet over the ground. That seems okay. Airspeed is looking good. We're fairly booting it now. And yeah, we're heading down to Concord, which is an uncontrolled airport. So what should happen, Boston Approach will eventually say, right, look, there's no more traffic between you and your airport, frequency change approved. At that stage, we need to then start talking to the CTAF down at Concord, all right? And the only way we're going to do that is get the frequency off the chart. It's going to be a frequency of, well, I'm not going to tell you. Lads, I want you to look at the sectional charts. Find Concord, which is Kilo Charlie Oscar November, and let me know what the CTAF frequency is going to be. I'm planning to fly straight in, which isn't always ideal, that can be dangerous, but I'm going to fly straight in for a landing on runway 12. That's what I'm aiming for, right? So I want you guys to have a look at the charts on, you know, on SkyVector or Navigraph and see if you can find me that CTAF frequency. Do. This is all terribly exciting, isn't it? Fair play to the ATC, they're bang on. And that poor Boston Approach fella, he's probably like, what level of Muppet is Murphy, you know? I've been talking to him when I shouldn't have. Okay, so you're telling me 122.7, yeah? Do you see where we found that? So you go down to Concord Municipal. You have the ASOS, but that's more to do with weather. See the C, yeah? 122.7. All right? 122.7. Fattest Game says, Murph, nothing wrong with straight in. That's why you have CTAF. It's so you can tell everyone your plans. You do it all the yeah. So for this, it makes perfect sense to fly straight in. In a traffic pattern, the reason why you'd hesitate, right? There's an aircraft like right behind me. Who's that now, I say? I say, who's that up there? Is that Adam? It looks like Adam, but he's much higher, so he's no factor. He's at 5.5, I'd say. The reason why you need to be somewhat conscientious of flying straight in, because as you approach the airport, be mindful, depending on the traffic pattern, if it's left or right, it means you're going to expect to see aircraft coming in at your, 10 o'clock or 9 o'clock. So you have to be very aware of that, yeah? But yeah, there's nothing necessarily wrong with any approach into the airfield. It's purely to just make sure you know what you're doing as you're approaching. Where's the traffic? Where's the potential risk going to lie? And if you're flying straight in, and unless the charts state it's a right-hand pattern, well, if you're flying straight in, traffic's going to be over on your left-hand side somewhere. Be wary of that traffic. That's all. That's all, you know? That looked like Adam might say. I say that. Let's have a look. No, it's not. Who'd be that? There's Naughty. There's Adam. So that's a different aircraft. He's at 5,500 feet. I'm at 3,500 feet, which I think I'm okay. Naughty Gnome. He's doing 4.5. Adam's doing 3, aiming for probably 3.5. I think I'm okay, 3,500. I mean, the charts do say there's a little bit of jiggery pokery in places, but I think I'm okay. I can see the difference ahead of me, you know what I mean? Yeah, I think I'm good at 35. The wind is shown on the screen in front. Right. But yeah, I think we're doing okay. I mean, look, visually again, I can see I'm using this ADSB on my little map here, right? He's now turning, so he's gone up here somewhere. Look, there he is, gone into the sun. Damn it, Jamie's down in the sun. The sun is now blocking me view of him. Isn't that cool that can, like, I mean, that's what happens in real life. You can't see shag all when you're looking into the sun, but the sim is doing it beautifully. It's awesome. Careful, Sim. We've more favourable weather conditions now. We pretty much got out of there just in the nick of time. I mean, look at that overcast. And there's rain on the way there. So I think we kind of got out of there just in time, lads. Just in time. Now, we don't want to clip anyone's airspace. So ATC have us, you know. Do a little bit of a right turn here. Because remember, I want to straight in. I'm just watching that mountain. See and avoid.
Observation November 245, Nana Yankee.
Number 245, Nana Yankee, Boston.
And observation 245, Nana Yankee, PC 1250-500. We'd like to pick up flight following to Concord, Charlie Oscar, November, with a block altitude between 3500 and 7500.
Nice. So he's in a PC-12, he's booting it.
Number 59 Yankee, Squawk 5573.
5573, 245.
Place called New London over here on the right hand side. And we just want to stay away from this mountain ahead of us. That is called Mount Kearsarge, I think it's called. Mount Kearsarge. So we're just staying away from that for the moment. Then we'll turn back in on course. And all the while, we're keeping an eye on the aircraft ADS-B.
59 Yankee, radar contact 15 miles southeast of Lebanon. 3 traffic
this guy.
to be aware of, ranging between your 10 and 11 o'clock. We'll start with your 11 o'clock in 5 miles, 1,000 below, same direction. And to the right of that, 5,500, also the same direction. That's your 11 o'clock for about 6 miles. And then finally one at 3,500, 12 o'clock, same direction, 10 miles.
Roger, we're looking for the traffic, and between that block altitude, we're going to be doing some maneuvers, we'll let you know.
Roger.
Okay. There's loads of them! Yeah, but it's good though. It's good. There's plenty of traffic now heading down the way. And like, lads, like, you could get this at various fly-ins.
We have the traffic.
So you can see us below us. Nobody knows behind him. Josh is out here to the right. There's Adam, and there's Clement as well. So he's in a chopper right behind Adam. So like, there's actually a nice bit of traffic heading down towards Concord. Bear in mind, lads, our challenge is Concord is not a towered airport. Therefore, the level of communication we need to have needs to be like top tier stuff, because there's a lot of traffic. Yeah, there's a lot of traffic. Now I imagine that PC-12, he's going to get down there ahead of us, right? I imagine it'll be me or Joshua. Oh no, hang on, Joshua's in that. Who's the other aircraft? That's a PC-12. There's a Cessna 208 with us as well, 2,000 feet above us. Okay, so hang on. We got a caravan right ahead of us, and he's not on the frequency. We got a PC-12 there, right? And then we have Naughty Gnome, and then we have Adam and Clem back there. So like, CTAF is going to be very important here. Very important. Now, it doesn't really matter how close they get in terms of lateral. It's the height I need to worry about. Yeah. We only need to contact approach if we want flight following. Yeah, 100%. So I'm comfortable now that there is flight following, but there is another aircraft directly above me. Now he's 2,000 feet away, but I haven't heard him on the frequency.
Remember, you got the traffic at your 9 o'clock for 2 miles, same altitude, converging course.
Yeah, we have the traffic.
So that's ATC advising the PC-12, hey, you have another aircraft at your 9 o'clock, yeah, same altitude. Now, he's on my 9 o'clock, but he's 2,000 feet above me. He's no real worry to me, but he's not on the frequency. So you can see where flight following is really helping us out. He's letting us know, hey, look, there's stuff going on here. Now that guy is...
Number 5 down in Yankee, you outpace the rest of the traffic. There's no traffic en route between you and Concord. Radar services terminated, Squawk maintain VFR, free exchange approved.
Roger, frequency change approved, Squawk VFR 22, direction 245 Yankee.
So he's going faster than all of us. So they're saying, right, good luck to you now. There's no other traffic between us and them. So yeah, he's heading away there now. All right.
Approach hello again, November 112 Foxtrot Alpha VFR request.
November 112 Foxtrot Alpha Boston, go ahead.
112 Foxtrot Alpha, Cessna 172, 15 miles southeast of Lebanon. VFR flight following request to Charlie Oscar November 3500.
Number 2 Foxtrot Alpha, Squawk 5502.
5502, 2 Fox Alpha.
Fair play to the controllers, they're bang on, but like this is awesome. But yeah, you don't need to report, sorry, you don't need flight following.
Number 5 Romeo Mike, traffic's at your 1 2 o'clock, PC12, descending out of 4,500,
like it's dead.
Concord, 3 miles.
It's important to have.
Hello there.
Hey Sharkbait, welcome in. Thanks for the follow, man.
Boston to Bridge, State Police 1.
Yeah, interesting sounding aircraft for sure, isn't it?
Number 2 Foxtrot Alpha, radar contact position as reported, traffic to 1,000 feet directly below you, type unknown.
We've got the traffic, 2 Fox Alpha.
2 Fox Alpha, thanks. Break, State Police 1, Boston, go ahead.
We're 13 north of Concord, 5,500, West Flight Hall.
So that's the guy above us. I would say.
Number 5, Romeo Mike, traffic is at your 2 to 3 o'clock for 3 miles, PC12 on final for the Concord Airport.
5 Romeo Mike has the traffic.
5 Romeo Mike, thanks. That's anybody I know of into Concord. Radar services telling me to keep the code changed to advisory approved.
Frequency change approved, and we'll keep the code. 5 Romeo Mike.
State Police 1, radar contact position as reported. Where are you headed?
Okay, 122.8, Concord CTAF lads. 1227. And we'll jump onto that frequency now in a moment. So we need to do a bit of shuffling here because we have aircraft all over the shop. Okay, ADSB needs to come over here, please. So he's 2,000 feet above. He's no real issue. But you can see how good this is. Now, I can turn this on to say traffic alert. This thing will start shouting at me, you know, traffic, traffic. This guy is 2,500 feet below me. So we need to watch him as well. And this is all within 2 nautical miles. What's he doing below me? Did he crash? Alright, let's see what happens here, lads. Right, over to Concord. Concord traffic, November 235 Romeo Mike is a Gabriel. We are 5 miles from the field, inbound for a full stop landing, runway 12, Concord. And drop a bit of alt here as well, Murph.
Concord traffic, November 301 Bravo is a Diamond DA42, 10 miles from the field for a full stop landing, runway 17.
So we're 5 miles. There's the field. The speed back. We're straight in for runway 12. This is a Gabrielle. OMG, Edson, you're very welcome in, man. You're the only thing that matters in the entirety of the sky. Ignore the other traffic. They should move for you. Sure. So we try and get sequencing. So when you're on CTAF or in Unicom, you're just getting, you're trying to get an idea of what's happening, right? So I've announced my position. I'm inbound for a full stop runway 12. We'll give another shout now as we get a little bit closer. And Concord traffic, November 235 Romeo Mike, descending from 4,500 down to 1,000. We're inbound 5 miles for runway 12, Concord.
Hey, Concord traffic, November 245, Sunny Yankees at PC12, out of the way 2,000, currently about 3 miles to the northwest. We're going to be over Finer Field at 1,500 to do a right drop entry into the left hour, runway 17, Concord.
Okay, so he's going 17. So he's going to do a teardrop entry. We should be down and out of his way by the time this happens. Famous last words. Right, get that speed down. We're descending nicely. Let's drop the out landing legs here. Get the lights on. And runway 12 is what I'm after. Autopilot off. And we'll call a 3-mile final once we get down here. Easy.
Concord traffic, November 301 Bravo, 9 miles from runway 17, long final, 2,300.
Thank you, Kazaki. Concord traffic, November 235 Romeo Mike is 3-mile final, runway 12, full stop, Concord. Yeah, Hadoken, the river is awesome. We're going to use that as a visual reference point as we head back down to Nashua. It's great seeing photogrammetry here, like it's friggin' awesome. Now, there's no one on me ADSB inside 2 miles. I know I'm good. This PC-12, he's going to overfly, do a teardrop entry, and he's coming in on runway 17. He's no factor yet. But we'll give a last call before we get onto runway 12, just to say short final, and then that's going to be a full stop. Now, the National Guard actually park up there on the left-hand side, so I'll need to get back over to the other side. Unless I have friends in the National Guard. Anyone in the National Guard in the chat? Alright, watch the speed. Concord traffic, November 235 Romeo Mike, short final, runway 12, full stop, Concord. Laps. Easy now. Retired air guard, that'll do. Easy now. Gently does it, Jemima. The only teardrop entry I had was when I first walked past Jess. Brilliant. Brilliant. Right, easy now. Runway 12.
Concord traffic number 245, Donny Yankee over flying the field 1500, right to drive, straight left downwind, runway 17, Concord.
Easy. Easy. Touchdown. Alright. Right, we're not going to hang around. Exit down here. Laps in. One day we will get to meet Jemima. I'm telling you, one day. And Concord traffic, November 225 Romeo Mike, cleared of the active runway 12 and taxiing over to the National Guard for Concord. Say nothing more if it's grand, just ramble up here, they won't give out to you.
Concord traffic, November 301 Bravo.
Scott, how well connected were you in the National Guard?
Runway 17, 4 minutes to landing.
It's alright, we rang ahead, they told me we can cross the field. National Guard and all that. Oh, Jesus, then.
Concord Avenue, no 245, the Yankee descending through 1500 for power and altitude, right teardrop, in the right teardrop, entering the 45 degree left downwind, runway 17, Concord.
Yeah, it looks like a fire. Yeah, that's... Oh, Jesus, that's my point. That's my point. Right, we're grand. No one had to see that. Jemima's in me truck, Murph. Passenger seat? Brilliant. Jesus, there's no one here. That's the camouflage now, you know, that the National Guard are using these days. It's second to none. Evan says, what ATC? This is VATSIM. This is on the VATSIM network.
Concord traffic over 245, sorry, Yankee on the rollout, mid-field downwind, runway, correction, left mid-field downwind, runway 17, Concord.
Alright. Now, I went with runway 12. It was actually, it was a much softer landing. We didn't have much wind at all. So let me see.
Concord traffic, November 12, Foxtrot Alpha, 9 miles northwest of the field, will be straight in approach runway 17, Concord.
That's supposed to be a PC-12. Model matching is absolutely laughable.
Final for Concord, how far are you?
Diamond is 2.8 miles, 2 minutes.
Roger, we're in Concord traffic, November 245, the Yankees turning base, runway 17, Concord.
He's ahead of him. That's okay. Is it a VL3? It's actually called a Gabrielle or a Gabriel. It's a brand new release from Flying Fries. It's a beautiful little airplane.
And Concord traffic number 245, Penny Yankee, turning final runway 17 Concord.
James, you're going to do well to get in there, Chief.
Concord traffic, helicopter Delta, Papa Echo is 6.6 miles north of the field, straight in 17.
Is he going 17 or is he going 12? I don't mind the model matching. It's supposed to be, he's going 17. Jesus. Tactical approach. Brilliant. We love to see it. Get down there, Jemima. Brilliant. Right, so he's down. Naughty Gnome is inbound, so he's going to want the PC-12. He's waiting for him to say he's clear of the active or vacated the runway, yeah? And then we're going to have Adam inbound. And then I think Clem is coming in with a chopper. Get to the chopper now. Yeah, calling clear of the runway while exiting the runway. Don't worry about it. Calling clear of the runway.
245,
yeah.
Yankee on the go, runway 17.
Hello there.
Traffic number 248.
There's Naughty. No, I mean you can. I mean look at it. When you say you've cleared the active,
Concord traffic November 301 Bravo 1 mile final for full stop landing. Concord traffic.
Where did that PC-12 go? Oh, he's gone. Naughty, your runway is clear, mate. That PC-12 has gone around.
Traffic, helicopter Delta Papa Echo is doing a left orbit to leave space for the Cessna 172 to land in front of us.
Yeah, we've no ATC here. Yeah.
Concord traffic November 245, Yankee, turn left crossing, runway 17 Concord.
So runway 17 in the diamond. I mean, there is a bit of wind there, so that's going to be bashing them to a fair whack. James is not beautiful.
Yankee, turn left downwind, runway 17 Concord.
Nicely done, Naughty Gnome. Nicely done.
Concord traffic, November 112 Foxtrot Alpha, 5 mile final, runway 17 Concord.
So they're all going with runway 17. Me, the big Egypt, went with runway 12, but I preferred 12 because
look. Traffic over 245, Yankee, we have the traffic on a 4 mile final inside. We're going to be kind of ready, we're going to be entering left base, runway 17 will be out of the way, so the Concord traffic.
The wind of SOC
November
is
301
blowing.
Bravo, clear of the runway 17 Concord traffic.
But man, Naughty Gnome, the wind of SOC favours runway 12, and because Colonel Fork gave out to me the last time, I said, well, I better do what I'm told this time. Because
Yankee, turn left base, runway 17.
A real challenge is your aircraft may not be capable of dealing with a certain crosswind speed, right? Most small general aviation aircraft, anything above 15 or 16 knots,
Yankee, short final, runway 17.
not able. You know? So, one runway 12 for me.
Concord traffic, 3.5 mile final, Concord.
Considering I'm in an ultralight, my airplane is an ultralight. Do you know, she doesn't have the same power as the Diamond, or this should be a PC-12, but my model matching is shagged. Go on, you devil, you! Looks good though, doesn't it? Now for my next trick, lads, as we wait on Adam to get in, right? And then I think Clem is inbound in a chopper. And Dark, thank you very much indeed. We need to get ourselves back to Nashua, and this is going to be our last flight for tonight. It's not very far, so I do recommend you stay put. The next bit is going to be a bit of crack because we have the class Charlie, right? So what I'm going to try and do, because we're on, you know, Unicom, Manchester,
Yankee, they clear for all runways, taxing around Concord.
Manchester approach is on.
Concord traffic 112 Foxtrot Alpha, 1 mile final, runway 17 Concord.
And there's no tower, so we're going to talk to Manchester approach. And I want to fly down this river. Anyone know the name of the river? It's all about making the right and safe decisions.
Concord traffic, helicopter Delta Papa Echo.
What's the point of realistic ATC if you aren't going to make realistic decisions? Couldn't have said it any better. Exactly right, Colonel Fork. Kazaki is departing in a Grumman duck. Nice. So we're going to head down the Merrimack River. That's what we're going to do, right? And we want to transition the class Charlie, but we're also going to give them our attentions. We're going to say, hey, we want to transition the class Charlie airspace, follow the river via 4 until we get back down to Nashua. Now here's the ticket. Runway 14 is going to be active at Nashua. So we can follow the river and then we can enter on the how do we enter this? We can do a teardrop, so we can overfly and then join the pattern to the left. No, hang on, it's a left pattern. So yeah, we're going to enter probably at a 45 once again. We will enter at a 45 because we're going to follow this river, and they're going to enter in at a 45 on the left downwind for runway 14. Merrimack, isn't that the name of it? Or did I just make up a river? Merrimack. Yeah, the Merrimack River, that's the one. Alright. So Adam Controls has landed. I've just heard him fly over me. Hanya Divilya. Alright, so quick check on our fuel. We kept everything running. On down here. Tablette. Fuel. Live. Refuel. 76. Fly. We got good fuel. Now for this one, we're heading in kind of a southwest neck of the woods. So we're going to be even altitude. I'm going to pop us in at just 2,500 feet. And the reason...
Concord traffic, runway 17 vacated, Concord.
The reason why we want 2,500 feet
Concord
is...
traffic, helicopter Delta Papa Echo is 2 miles, final 17, Concord
We're checking out the sights. We're checking out the sights. Two Cats, good to see you. 40 knots crosswind, but it could handle 20. Yeah, some of them are like 15 to 25. Merrimack River, that's the one, lads, that's the one. Right, so that looks good to me. We're going to keep ADS-B on for this one. Our plan, once we take off, let me see, 1227, that's the local. Cash, Jesus, Stu, you absolute legend. 5 gifted tier 1 subs to the community here on Twitch. Stu, thank you very much indeed. Cyan, this is the Gabrielle. It's from Flying Fries. Beautiful airplane, ideal for flight training. Would you believe it? It's an ultralight, and it's designed for flight training. It looks like it's a fighter, but it doesn't have fighter characteristics. Do you know what I mean? It's just not able for it. But it's great for learning. So I'm going to depart runway 12 once again, and then we're going to peel off to the right, and then we're going to call up Manchester approach, and he's going to be on 124.9er. But we can also get the ATIS out of Nashua. We'll hardly get it here. 1251, let's try it. 1251. We're only barely getting it. Once we get higher and closer, we'll get it.
Nashua Tower, position Echo 5,500. Temperature 15. Visual approaching, landing
This is where your little squelch button comes in handy. So it's information echo, I can hear that. So it's information echo. Right, I'll be back in a jiffy. Little bathroom break. Back in a second here now, lads. While we're waiting, we'll play a bit of tunage while we're waiting, and yeah, I'll be back in just a moment. A beautiful helicopter. Now, Vatsim is using, it's a real It's a real person. It's a real person. So, what we're going to do now, lads, our plan of attack is simple. We're going to depart from Concord. After departure, we're going to contact Manchester Approach. We're going to say, how are you? Listen, I'm wearing a lovely shirt, and I'd like to transition through the class Charlie because we want to make a full stop landing down at Nashua. We want to follow the Merrimack River. Let's see what permission the controller may grant us, or he might tell us, look, go this, he might vector us, right? So let's see what happens. Right. I hope this is making sense and you guys are picking up some stuff, you're learning stuff. If you do have any questions, the only bad question is no question. So just, if you have a question, throw it in there. Right. Juan Chris, thank you very much indeed. What are my graphic settings? Fairly high. Fairly high. Pretty much everything's on high or ultra. I'm entering the class Charlie whenever, whether you allow me or not, right? You'd have a better chance of clearance if you don't mention the shirt. Now we can stay below the class Charlie. Let's just explain this on the map. So Kazaki is actually saying below the class Charlie. So what we could do, we can depart, we can stay under 2,000 feet. That's outside of the Charlie airspace, and then kind of handrail it across. But I want to follow the river all the way down, like straight down. I want to follow that river, meaning this airspace starts from the surface, goes all the way up. Yeah. Now, if he doesn't give us that permission, he might say remain clear of the Manchester airport. That means we've got to stay over here somewhere. All right. We're landing on runway 14, so we're going to keep on the west side of the airport at all times. Riot. Let's see. And when do we need to call him now? Let's see. I'm going to blast off runway 12. So after departure, we're going to call him straight away. Straight away, we're going to talk to him. All right. MHT approach, but it's Boston approach. So we'll talk to them, and then we're going to say, you know, we need permit. We can't just ramble in there. We need to establish in. Yeah. So I'm no longer using NVIDIA filters, lads. This is all reshade. So this is how the simulator looks default. Yeah. This is the sim in its default colors. And with reshade, that's how it looks now. It does make a considerable difference, don't you think? And it's reshade. Now it does have a bit of an impact on your FPS. So reshade on is giving me 90 frames. Reshade off, it's giving me like 95 frames. There's a bit of a hit. If anyone's interested in all my reshade stuff, I have it on Discord, but if you want, I'm more than happy to go through all this someday in detail on a live stream. Just let me know. Just let me know. Right. Let's see what we're going to do. We were told to keep our transponder on the same code. All right. 1251. No, so it's going to be 124.9. 1249er. That's our next frequency we're going to talk to. All right. Let's see what happens. Stand by. That them being what? Wait, no. Got burnt by that once in real life. Told to stand by. That's being in contact with ATC, so they flew right through the Class C surface area. Now everyone gets standby and remain clear of the Class C airspace. That can happen. That can happen. Yeah, good to look at it. Sweet. Okay, yeah, I'll plan that in a stream soon, lads. Right, where am I? What's the taxiway here?
Concord traffic, November 301 Bravo, taxiing via apron and Alpha 1 to runway 17 for a departure to the south.
Concord traffic, November 235 Romeo Mike, taxiing from the National Guard ramp onto runway 12 for a south departure, Concord. Right, let's go. We ain't hanging around here now, lads. We ain't hanging around here. 2,500 feet has gone into the box. And let's see what happens. It's a ramp. It is a ramp. I wish we could reshade that shirt. Ah, Jesus. Entering the runway. And here we go. Concord traffic, November 235 Romeo Mike, entering the runway 12 for a departure to the south, Concord. Right's clear.
And Concord traffic, November 301 Bravo, entering runway 17 for a departure to the south.
Right, no messing here now. Power coming in, let's go flying. Up, you devil, you.
Concord traffic, November 112 Fox Alpha, taxi in runway 17, Concord.
Concord traffic, November 235 Romeo Mike, taking off runway 12, south departure, Concord. Yupsie daisy. Ooh, that was...
And Concord traffic, November 301 Bravo, departing runway 17.
How's the rate? You're up. Mind the power lines, Murph. They'll cause you an absolute headache. Easy. 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 Heading. Autopilot.
And Concord traffic, November 301 Bravo, clear of runway 17, departure to the south, final call.
Concord traffic, November 235 Romeo Mike, turning right, hanging out to the south, and we are leaving the area, Concord. Boston approach, November 235 Romeo Mike, VFR request.
November 235 Romeo Mike, Boston, go ahead.
November 235 Romeo Mike, just departed Concord. We would like to transition the Charlie airspace over Manchester for a full stop at Nashua.
November 235 Romeo Mike, your radar contact to southeast of Concord, altitude indicates 1,500. Your Manchester class Charlie transitions approved, plan for left base at runway 14 at Nashua.
Transition approved. We'll plan for a left base for runway 14 at Nashua for November 235 Romeo Mike. Nice!
Manchester Control, November 301 Bravo, VFR request.
November 301 Bravo, Boston approach, squawk 4627, say request.
Alright, easy does it.
Squawk 4627 for November 301 Bravo. I would like to transition the Charlie,
if it's a different colour shirt,
Charlie
will the conversation
for
be the
landing
same?
at Nashua, please.
What did we learn tonight? Yeah, the chat really loved Murphy's shirt. Oh Jesus, then they loved it. Mother of Jesus. Right, we're calling it 2,500 feet. We're flying the river, lads, and we're going to expect a left base entry for runway 14. That's our little plan.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, Jesus. Right, easy now, Jemima. Now, I could have given me altitude, but, like, he can see it. He told me to keep the same squawk code.
Alpha, rolling runway 17, VFR departure southbound, Concord.
Adam, you're on
That's the wrong frequency, disregard.
That's alright.
We have a fierce habit of that tonight. Oops! Adam did the same as Murphy! Brilliant!
301 Bravo, radar contact 5 to the southwest of Concord. Traffic at your 3 o'clock for 3 miles is a Gabrielle, same altitude, same direction. Your transition of the Manchester class Charlie's approved, plan for a left base, runway 14.
Firefly Air will not be invited back. The feckin' Irish are ruining everything.
Traffic insight November 301 Bravo, and transition of class Charlie is approved. Expect entry at left base for Nashua for November 301 Bravo.
I really hope I'll get to see some of these lads at Flight Sim Expo. My arms are going to... Outer market. My arms are going to be full giving them beers. Sorry about that there now, lads. Jesus. Sorry. Awful sorry about that, lads. Yeah. Jesus. Freaking.
Number 5 Romeo Mike, traffic's at your 3 o'clock, 2 miles, 500 above. Same direction.
Roger, we're looking for the traffic. 5 Romeo Mike. Where are you? The bleeding sun is in my eyes. He's over there. 200 plus 2 miles. Why can't I see him? Are the sunglasses would be handy here now, lads. You know? We are on a conversion course. And 5 Romeo Mike has the traffic.
5 Romeo Mike, roger, thanks.
There he is. He's going faster. I'll pull back my speed a little bit. Sorry, 99. You belt
Boston
on
approach,
in.
November 112 Fox Alpha. Me again, VFR request.
Me again?
November 112 Foxtrot Alpha, Boston approach, go ahead.
November 112 Fox Alpha, Cessna 172 just departed runway 17 at Concord, requesting zone transit through the Charlie for full stop at Nashua.
Marty, what's your ground
November
speed,
112
mate?
Foxtrot Alpha, radar contact 3 to the south of Concord, say altitude.
Passing 1,500.
Over to Foxtrot Alpha, roger, thanks. Your transition of Manchester class Charlie is approved. Plan for left base, runway 14 at Nashua.
Oh,
Plan for left base, and just for information, we'll be cruising at 3,500, 112 Fox Alpha, thank you.
2 Fox Alpha, roger, thanks.
Marty, we're terribly close. Terribly, terribly close. Right, we're okay now. We're alright now. It's alright now. He's on the far side of that river. Sorry, Boston Approach. I think you had the wrong number there a minute ago. Sauerkraut, welcome in, man. Hope you're well. Kazaki's cleared of runway 14. Thank you, Kazaki. Awesome sauce. Right, there's the Manchester airport. We want to keep to the right of that. Or as we said, we want to keep west of that at all times. So we're just going to follow Naughty Gnome in. He's going to be ahead of us. He's moving a lot faster. His ground speed, according to the gadget, is 140. We're like 110. So, right, drive him up a bit. And we'll keep an eye here on our ADSB. So we're going to be expecting a right base. So that's...
Boston approach, good evening, helicopter Delta Papa Echo.
Fair play to Clem in the chopper. Choppers and Fatson,
Delta
lads.
Papa Echo, Boston approach.
Delta Papa Echo is a H145 just out of Concord heading to Nashua. We will remain west of the Manchester
I love the accent.
control zone.
What do you mean we are not allowed to fly? I don't know whose accent that was, but listen. Boston Approach, sorry, you must have been distracted by the green shirt. What? Jesus!
Delta Papa Echo, Squawk 3521, ident.
3521 and ident for Papa Echo.
Don't know how, but a couple worse. Where are we? Oh yeah. We're directly over Manchester. Can you be more specific? We're lost in the women's underwear section. Mr. Chippy, good to see you. Why is Murph dressed like a paramedic? Oh, for Christ's sake, it's a green shirt. You lot are... Trend setter, Mr. Chippy. You're all going out tomorrow now to buy yourself a beautiful Wrangler green shirt. Yeah, that's what's going to happen now. It's not shiny, it's the lights. You'd be shiny too with all the lights I have. Very forgiving. Oh, look at the lovely airport, look. Very forgiving kind of, you know them overalls they wear for the casino heist in GTA 5? Ah, Jesus. We didn't mention it all night.
Delta Squawk 3521.
Who was that?
3521 for Delta Papa Echo, sorry about that.
Alright, Naughty Gnome is a good bit ahead of us now. But that chopper is you over there. And we've an Adam you over there. 4 or 5 people flying tonight, lads. It's been very good.
Delta Papa Echo, thanks. Radar contact 10 miles northwest of Manchester. You're heading to Nashua as well.
Affirm, Papa Echo.
He's now.
Delta Papa Echo, roger. Enter a 5-mile final, runway 14 for Nashua.
5 mile final for Nashua for Papa Echo.
Sky Vagrant loves me shirt. Can I order one? Like, a box? Yes! Back in the Wales, Sky Vagrant. Shiny like his forehead. What? I can guarantee you now, lads, there's no strutting going on here at the moment. There was when I called up Boston Approach and I shouldn't have twice, but now I'm alright. Green shirt and a red face. Oh, Jesus. Mayo colours. I just got a new shirt today. It's a DFW sectional map. Nice. Shiny like all the hair product. If you find any scenes on tonight's stream stressing, do please send a letter digitally to Murph. How about it at murph.com? Not much product, not much hair. Murph, put your logo on the shirt and sell it in the store. I was kind of trying to do that, but I don't have... Oh, wait, hang on, I'll do that. Gibbo gave me stickers. It goes well with the tiny hands. Oh, Jesus. No, I meant, can I order a box to put you in while wearing the shirt? Oh, Jesus. Guaranteed to sell out, right? I wore a green t-shirt to Asda today. Long story short, I'm now covering Janice's shift on Thursday. Brilliant. That's him, yes indeed. It really shows off me tiny hands. At least the shirt hasn't taken away the focus away from your little hands. Yep. Shower the Muppets. We're in the... Oh, yeah. Right. We're going grand. Ah, this is brilliant. Refer any complaints to Gibbo. Yeah. Now, is...
Manchester, radar November 301 Bravo 4 nautical miles from Nashua.
The shirt must be worn on each training day.
301 Bravo Nashua, wind 1507, runway 14, clear to land.
Refer any complaints to Gibbo. Care of Gibbo, PO Box 80085 123
Mike,
Tesla
enter
Street.
extended left base, runway 14. Traffic you're following is a Diamond at your 1 o'clock for 4 miles, 1,000 below.
You love us, really. Yeah. I'll scream myself. I'll tear off the shirt, tear it in shreds like paper. Right? Or dump into the shower, still not clean. Oh, Jesus. Outer marker. Let's see what happens here. November 235 Romeo Mike is 5 miles from Nashua.
November 5 Romeo Mike, roger. Traffic you're following is a Diamond on a 3-mile final, runway 14, number 2, clear to land.
Clear to land, number 2, and we have the traffic. November 235 Romeo Mike. Right. Autopilot coming off. Dialer back there now fairly lively, and we're going to enter in this way now. Right, we're going to enter in this way. You'll be waiting like a faster steam siren, right? Hydrospace, good to see you. What if Gibbo has a complaint? Did the shirt get clearance to the Bravo? Or if the shirt has buttons?
Helicopter Delta Papa Echo request.
Delta Papa Echo.
Delta Papa Echo would like to shoot the ILS for 14 into Nashua if possible.
An ILS and a chopper, go Clem. Jesus.
Delta Papa Echo, roger. Would you like to maintain VFR and have a practice approach, or would you like an IFR clearance?
We'll stay the VFR for now, Papa Echo.
Naughty, let us know when you're clear, will you? If you or anyone you know has been affected by tonight's green shirt, please contact the Green Shirt Helpline.
180 and maintain 2000. There are no separation services provided.
Oh, Jesus.
Could you repeat for Papa Echo?
Thank you, Dougal.
Delta Papa Echo, turn left, heading 180, that's to maintain 2000.
Left 180.
Must have taken Murphy hours to button up that shirt with those tiny hands. It's a good job he doesn't do screen. Oh no, he doesn't do a green screen. Naughty, you let us know when you have got that runway. Good luck on the cup. You will. If, you know, you've cleared it. Has he cleared it?
And November 301 Bravo, clear of runway 14.
You legend.
November 301 Bravo, roger. Taxi parking via Alpha. Thanks for flying. Congrats on passing WINGS VFR 5.
Hey, good man, Naughty. No.
Thank you very much.
Good man yourself. Boston approach. I've worn me lucky green shirt. You have failed the WINGS 5 flight tonight. Balls. I could fail it. Well, might. I could fail it. I didn't find me plan at the start. And then I called up the controller when I shouldn't have. But apart from that, you know, we were all right. We have our landing clearance. This is the right airport, and it is runway 14.
Delta Papa Echo, just maintain
Kingsman, good to see you.
1,600, turn 10 degrees right, join the localizer for runway 14.
The grass is always greener except when it's Murph's shirt.
1,600 and 10 degrees left for Delta Papa Echo.
Delta Papa Echo, 10 degrees to the right, and join the localizer for runway 14.
10 degrees to the right, apologies, and join the localizer Delta Papa Echo.
Boston Control needs to know the stress and duress I've been under with the abuse you lot have been giving me over my beautiful green shirt. It's a Wrangler shirt.
Number 2, Foxtrot Alpha, traffic is at your 3 o'clock, 7.5 miles, helicopter 5 mile final, runway 14, report in sight.
The gear is down, we've Labster said.
We're looking for the traffic, 112 Fox Alpha.
Easy now, Jemima. Easy. Easy. Touchdown. Right, we're not going to make that one. Get the next one, Murph. Flaps coming in. Happy the Jesus, lads. I like it. It reminds me of home. I live in a field. Ah, you're a right bunch of funny lads now. Dan, no idea. Main threads, you say? Jesus. Easy, Murph. And 5 on my mic. We are clear the active 14 on Alpha. Looking for a taxi to parking.
Number 5 runway mic, taxi via Alpha. Congrats on passing Wings VFR 5. Thanks for flying, Muff.
Taxi Alpha, thank you so much for all your service and putting up with us. Cheers, man. Jesus. That time anyway when Murphy wore that green shirt, you know, the Boston controllers came on stream to support the green shirt, right? Bloomin' wonderful.
Delta Papa Echo, your overhead final approach fix, your practice ILS runway 14 approach is approved.
It's not easy being green.
Practice ILS approach approved for Delta Papa Echo, thank you very much.
And 112 Fox Alpha with the traffic in sight, entering left base runway 14.
Number 2 Foxtrot Alpha, roger. Follow the traffic, please. You're number 2 in the pattern.
Follow traffic number 2, 1 Fox Alpha.
What do you think of my green shirt? Yeah, well, who cares what you think? Right, brakes on. Ooh, mags off. Good luck to you now. Thanks for playing. Lights off.
Delta.
Battery off. We are clear, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, man. The Bosners and the drunken era jets. Right? Astro Murph. Bloody hell. Turf, wait, what? Astro Man. Yeah, you just need HSC epaulets now, Murph. Ah, Caelan, for God's sake. Golf. Yeah, I was going to get epaulets on it. Good job I didn't. Huh? Bloody hell. Naughty Gnome, you legend. You have passed. You've got your VFR 5. Or Wings 5, sorry. Lads, can we get some emotes into the chat for all the staff at the Boston Virtual ARTCC? They've provided incredible coverage for us tonight, and we're good sports for the messing as well. Amazing job. Really, really appreciate them taking time out of their busy schedule. They were superb. They absolutely were superb. And they're welcoming, they're friendly, and they know their stuff, which is just great. Just great. So that concludes our VFR stuff. We're just going to wait for Adam to come in here now. We have Clem coming in a chopper as well. A quick refresh on what we've done tonight. We'll close Navigraph. We can just show you on... we can show you on this, actually. On Sky Vector. All right. So what we did tonight, lads, right?
It's a big 10-4, good buddy.
There's stuff happening. Drew Bannon, thank you very much, Drew. You ledge. Let's minimize the screen so we can see what Adam's doing. There we go. So what we did with our flight tonight, lads, we started off the night down at Nashua. We departed and we flew underflight following up to Lebanon. Landed at Lebanon and we had tower control there. From Lebanon we departed, we then flew in Unicom, we picked up flight following once again with approach, and then we flew into an untowered airport and we landed into Concord Municipal. After Concord Municipal, when we departed under CTAF, we then called up Manchester Approach. They gave us transition to the Class Charlie airspace, and we were able to follow the river all the way down, and we just completed a full stop landing back at Nashua. The flight you've just seen is very similar to what you would experience in the real world doing your VFR or doing your CP or your PPL. That's what a cross country looks like. You'll take off from an airport, fly a minimum of 50 miles to another airport. The next airport will be untowered, or doesn't have to be untowered. Your cross country doesn't have to be untowered, but this extra challenge of now giving us the knowledge and the experience to say, hey, we can now depart from class Delta and Charlie. We know what to do if we want to fly into a class Bravo. We know what to do if we want to transit or enter a class Charlie. We know what to do if there's no ATC available at a tower. It's an uncontrolled tower. We know then, talking to other aircraft, not only by looking at the ADS-B inside the airplane itself, but we can use things like the VATSIM radar, we can use things like Navigraph to give ourselves that kind of, situational awareness and other traffic awareness of what's happening. And it's absolutely cool. And all of this is done on VATSIM. So this is an online ATC network. And even the choices that I did tonight, where I chose runway 12 at Concord rather than runway 17 versus what the guys did, I put that closer to what the aircraft I'm flying is capable of. Yeah. And you as a pilot, your number one job is you're in charge. ATC are there to advise, but ultimately you're in charge. You follow their instruction. If you cannot follow their instruction, well, you tell them unable, right? And we've done a lot of that stuff before. But the Boston Wings program, the Boston Virtual ARTCC, it's incredible. It's a start to finish. Beautiful landing, Adam. It's a start to finish. This is flight 5 we've just completed tonight. Right, here's their we'll go back to
hello there.
We'll go back to flights here. Wings flights. You do have to get yourself set up with them. Mason, welcome in. Welcome in. Have a look at that website, lads. I highly recommend you jump on. The Wings course that they do here is absolutely incredible. Also check out the VAT Air side of the fence as well. Flying in Ireland, you get the same level of just very nice controllers. They're, it's a safe environment. They're not going to affect you out of it unless you really make a mess. But this Wings program, because we're saying we're doing the Wings flights, but the controllers know to be that little bit extra, what's the word I'm looking for? Patient with us. They're trying, they're going to be more patient. They're going to take a little bit of time and say, right, these guys need that little bit of help to get through and see how we go. The Wings flights, as you can see, the first section, you can do this from start to finish. You could just do a module whenever you want, or you can just start off with IFR if you wish. So far, we've completed VFRs 1 and 2. I still have to go back and do VFR 3 and 4 because I didn't have ATC that night. The last one in the VFR lessons is a Boston Class Bravo helicopter route. Now, it's called a helicopter route, but in Boston, a fixed wing can do it. It's a great way to be able to sneak into the airspace under ATC control, right? 777, Jesus, 8 months with a tier 3. Thank you very, very much indeed, my guy. Jesus, insane support. The Boston Class B helicopter route, because we've now transitioned the Class Charlie, this should be relatively straightforward. It's a little bit more controlling, and you have to be a little bit more accurate with where you're flying, but I recommend everyone go off and do that. VFR 5, that is the quintessential flight we want to do on this course for the FAA conversion course that we're doing. Next week, we're going to start looking at IFR, and again, you're going to see there is an absolute ton of flights on this. There's 24 flights to do on the IFR side. Now, I'm not going to have time to be able to do all of these flights. We'll do some for our course, and then when our course is finished, I'll revisit these again. That's when we'll probably go into more of the, mountain air or mountain flying, deviations, maybe using some RNAV stuff. We'll mess around with all of that later on, but certainly we're going to do an introduction to IFR. We're going to focus on a little bit of VOR navigation, but also the airways, right? We will be looking at stars, and we're going to be looking at SIDS as well. and then it's going to be transitions. Transitions happen all the time, right? There is an IFR check ride. This is the main one we're going to be doing. IFR 11. We're going to build ourselves up to do this. All right. And then, lads, when we're finished with the IFR stuff from Boston Virtual ARTCC, that means we've done the VFR flying. We've done the IFR flying. After that, we move on to the final stage of our training course on this FAA conversion course. And that's going to be training for Oshkosh, because the objective is we're going to do the Oshkosh virtual Oshkosh flight, which is happening in July. All right, so the ground school document, it's available over on our website. You can grab it there. This has all been made for free. Countless hours and me wearing even nicer shirts, right, than this, but it's there to help us all out. We're all one big community. We've started off in the sim. Some of you, probably the first time you got a sim was Microsoft Flight Simulator, right? Or even Flight Sim 24. This is your entry point. Well, after time, you're going to pick up, you know, the basics, and you want to take your hobby further. You want to expand on your hobby. So that's what this is all about, and it's getting us comfortable with it. We will be doing group flights very soon. To get you more involved, we'll do group flights, and it could be the case that I'm just going to sit here on the stream, or it doesn't even have to be on the stream. If we get a group of people to say, right, you're going to try to do this VFR flight yourselves, I'll just jump in Discord, and if you need help with anything, you just say, Murph, what do I say or what do I do? It's going to be the same with the IFR stuff. And we know that the guys are doing the VATSIM flights each and every Thursday. Well, very soon, they're going to be flying in the United States, hopefully now with enough confidence to get them started. And like, it's going to be awesome. It is just going to be awesome, right? So the FAA conversion course, the course outline, as we can see, hang on now. Down the road here now, Murphy. What page are we on? 199. What did we start on? 205, was it? I just want to show you the gadget here, look. So the course outline, we've done an introduction to the FAA regulations. We've done the overview of the air system. We've the key differences, we'll focus a little bit more on those. All right. We've gone through all of these bits and bobs. They're already there in the manual for us. Okay. Phase 1, the FAA airspace structures. Remember, your class Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta, Echo, Golf. Entry requirements for VFR. VFR weather minimum and visibility requirements. Flight following and ATC interactions. We've done all of these, and if you've missed out, lads, all these streams, all these videos, well, they're available right now over on YouTube. Go check them out, have a watch of them, and see how you get on. We've done flight planning and filling out a VFR flight plan. That's what I do on SimBrief, and we can see what the crack is here. Understanding the FAA NOTAMs and also the TFRs, the traffic or temporary flight restrictions. Our VFR ATC communication and phraseology. So figuring out the ATIS, getting our departure, understanding what to do at a towered versus a non-towered airport, taxi, ground communication and clearance delivery, VFR en route. We've done all of these now, yeah? Flight following and transitioning through controlled airspace. We've done a lot of that tonight. Pattern entry and ATC instructions at towered and untowered. And then our practical flying exercises. We've done the basic VFR circuits, or your traffic pattern. We've done VFR navigation and flight following. Last week I did entering and exiting class Bravo, and now tonight we've just completed our cross-country flight. I'm going to leave the Boston class Bravo helicopter route for you to do. I'll do it as well. And then we're going to get on to phase 2. Understanding the FAA IFR flight plan and procedure, SIDS, STARS, ILS approaches, all that jazz. FAA specific departure clearance, understanding the alternate minimums and instrument approaches. Then we'll have the communications once again and phraseology, clearance, delivery and taxi, ATC instructions, handling holes, missed approaches and IFR transitions, and understanding the US flight level assignments versus the ICAO assignments. Practical flying exercises, again, is going to follow on what we did with the WINGS course. And then finally, phase 3 is preparing for the EAA virtual fly-in into Oshkosh. It's going to be friggin' huge. We need to get ourselves familiar with Oshkosh. We need to practice the FISC arrival, and we'll have a look at some of the other entry procedures. formation flying and high density traffic operations. Like what I'd love to do for Oshkosh is maybe get a small group of us to fly on VATSIM. We can report we're flying in a group of 4 of whatever aircraft we choose. Then we'll do our final check ride and flight prep for the Oshkosh fly-in itself. So that's what's down the road for us. That's what we're going to try and do over the coming weeks. And as I said, everything is available over on our website, twotommurphy.com. Ramble over there. Also, lads, I highly recommend you join up with the Boston Virtual ARTCC. It's absolutely friggin' incredible. And yeah, if you go to twotommurphy.com, ramble into where you see learn the ATC series, and every course we've done. We started this back in 2023. We did ATC for VFR flying in Ireland. The year after, we did IF4 in Ireland, and now we're looking at the FAA Conversion course. That's one each year. So for the last 3 years, we've been doing this. So do be sure to check it all out. Any questions, let me know over on our Discord. I'll be sure to get back to you. If you saw something there tonight that shouldn't have happened or didn't look right, let me know, and because I'm learning too, right? So yeah. Wish there was something like a Wings flights for the UK. I feel the phraseology procedure are much more complicated. Can be. Like I reckon the course that we've done already for the the ATC courses we did, I reckon that could probably do a Wings course for VAT Air if they were interested. If the lads wanted to look at it, or here's a training course, go off and do it. It'd be awesome to see it. But the Boston Virtual guys, they've put so much work into this. So much work. And like, of all the different flights that they have, yes, it's based under FAA regulations flying in the United States, but like the conversion isn't much back into Europe. It really isn't. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, thanks Murph, great night and a great shirt. Yeah, thanks Naughty. Great bunch of lads. Plus all the links I was showing you from the E6B, that's all there for us as well. Do be sure to check these out. Have a play around with them. If you don't know how to use this gadget, this will tell you how to use it. Or there's plenty of YouTube videos there as well. You can all check out. So lads, to our pilots who flew with us tonight, thank you very, very much indeed. You are absolutely legend. I really do appreciate the company. It's always better when we have more folks flying along. Clem took a chopper because he's a mad lad, which is brilliant. You were being serious. Thanks, Naughty Gnome. It's a lovely shirt. Lovely shirt. We're back to you tomorrow, lads, on Tuesday for a Truckin' Tuesday. We're driving in Germany in ETS2, and chocks away. Wait, what'd you say, trucks? Breaks off at 1900 Zulu. We'll check it out then. And then we've the midweek shuffle. Our flight sim news is on Wednesday. And then, friends, on Friday, we're going to have a group flight flying for the Department of Questionable Logistics. Yes, it's all happening now. So, yeah, thank you all so very, very much indeed. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and we'll see you very, very soon. 3 cheers for the Boston Virtual ARTCC.
Dreamy, sleepy, nighty, snoozy, snooze.
Absolute great bunch of lads. Right, lads, we'll see you tomorrow. For a warbird, it's one of the finest warbirds ever released in Microsoft Flight Simulator, considering you have the excellent work of Flying Iron. This thing, because of the extra features, because of the optimization, because of how well it looks and sounds, even flying this thing gives you an experience you probably haven't got already in the sim when it comes to flying a warbird. It feels heavy. It feels cumbersome. It behaves differently. And there's a lot of depth to it. It's a cracker. It's a masterpiece. Oh, I never did the thing, look. Microsoft, it's Murph. Someone clip this if you can. Do you hear the sounds? I've been blaming aircraft developers. Asobo or Microsoft need to fix this. Do you hear the noise? Outside the plane?